Yep, we're now live. So, yeah, let's get introductions and we can go talk about quality and stuff. Welcome everyone that is not watching yet because they haven't been tweeted, but this is the Dragon Ball FighterZ Goku GT release date stream. I was streaming Power Rangers Battle for the Grid recently, and people seem to enjoy that, so I decided let's do a Dragon Ball FighterZ stream. Oh, I'm more of a Piccolo Day kind of guy than a Goku Day. Yeah. Okay, we got... Hey, Darkon, can you check on that? If we can't hear it, there's a setting in the party chat in case that's not working. So is it only me that's coming through? Okay, let me get this picked up. Yeah, let me go see if it's the only microphone audio is being broadcast. Right, okay, got that. Party settings. Allow your voice to be shared. Okay. Let's see, Dark Claw, can you check your settings on the party? So if you go to the party menu up at the top and go to party settings, you should be able to go to, yeah, party settings, and then that gives you the option of allow your voice to be shared.
You were talking to, like, your imaginary friend.
Yeah. It should be in party settings in the party window.
Yeah, I turned it to anyone I can hear.
Okay, it sounds like you're coming through now.
Muffin button.
Yeah, Darkon's not coming through yet, but...
Like...
Is this in the party menu?
You look in allow your voice. Yeah, go to allow your voice to be shared and hit always allow.
Okay.
Yeah, that should help.
Testing. Yeah, let's see if it picks up.
What's that sensor thing I keep seeing on like a live stream where it pops up?
Okay, I can hear myself now.
All right, yeah, you're good. We're good to go. Cool. Anyways,
should we do reintroductions or no?
Let's just do quick reintroductions for the archive, so whoever tunes into this later.
Yeah.
That's usually what I do on metal streams. We always think about the archive. Somebody will see it later. So, anyways, let's we'll just start from the top now that we got everyone coming through. Welcome everyone to Soundout Plays Dragon Ball FighterZ. We are playing Dragon Ball FighterZ with the new GT Goku character release. It's also Goku Day and Piccolo Day for your old school Dragon Ball fans. And so what we're going to be doing is checking out the new character, maybe some of the other update stuff that came out. I know there's some new... I just unlocked a bunch of like springtime event icons, so we might look at that later between matches. So in the stream today we have, for the first time, Dark Claw.
Hello everybody, I'm Ryan, Dark Claw 643. I'm Soundout's graphic artist. Maybe all the new like art, like thumbnails, banners, icon. I made that for him. If you watched the Malcolm Monday, you hear about this, but just in case you haven't, hello, I'm an artist and sometimes a YouTuber. I barely do any because I'm so busy with my art, but like, yeah, I've been helping with Soundout with all the new channel stuff, and yeah, I'm glad everybody's been liking it. Hopefully.
Yeah, I've been getting a lot of positive feedback on it so far, so it's been great, and it's also like it's cutting down my work time on getting a video out, because my computer doesn't want to like work in Photoshop and Premiere at the same time. So it's like if you're making the graphic, I can just focus on getting the video done. Like the Kiva video came together yesterday in less time than usual. So
yeah,
that was really nice.
Yeah, that's thankful. Yeah, that takes work off of you, and just also I just want to say thank you for mentioning me in like all the shout out credits at the end of the Kiva review.
You're welcome. Yeah, I'm gonna try to do that for other ones. I got some other videos I filmed before we started working together on stuff, so those won't have it. But it's gonna be part of my. I have like a mental checklist of like, gotta mention, you know, the subscribe, the like, the notification bell, Hero Club, Ryan's stuff.
That was the stupidest thing they added.
Was it the notification bell?
I think it's such a stupid, like, wow, just wasted step there.
Right, it's like, oh, hit subscribe and another button because subscribe isn't enough anymore.
and then bookmark your channel because sometimes you don't get that notification.
Right, yeah, sometimes the notifications aren't even that great. So anyways, and the other voice in the room is Darkon633.
Hey, I'm back from the last couple of times we did the streams for Battle for the Grid, and obviously you can see my work on Hero Club, since I pretty much was a main writer there and everything, and recently get back to YouTube, just did a couple of videos, but not
I'm about to say, your poor channel's been collecting dust for a while before you came back.
Yeah.
But he's back, and that's the important part. You just posted, what was the most recent video you did? Was it the Star Wars board game?
Yeah. Wait, do you actually watch my stuff? I didn't actually know that.
The latest video I do, since art is my main focus, I do YouTube for, YouTube's a very side thing. I was gonna do a Toy Fair discussion. The problem is those videos are hour long, and by the time I had three parts recorded with a friend, we'll talk about Marvel, all the Marvel toys, Transformers toys, and Power Ranger stuff. Toy Fair will be a far long topic, so I just kind of scrap those videos. Doesn't help that like my Power Rangers, when we talk about the Power Rangers stuff, if you guys do know me from Twitter, to be honest, I kind of complain about the Power Rangers fandom a lot. Not like I don't hate anybody in the fandom. I don't. I just more like I question a lot of things the fans say in terms of how loud they can be, and not because I'm some kind of outsider. I've been part of the fandom since like Jungle Fury. It's more like, you know, I just think I was more like kind of mellow out, and so like I don't complain as much as other Power Rangers people do. Like, you won't see me complaining about the thing Bandai did there because I'm not that kind of person. Like, you know, so yeah. So I just want to know if people do know me for those. I do not hate the fandom. I just have a lot of problems with it. Like a lot of fandoms, I guess.
I think the Power Rangers fandom is something that's always interesting to kind of follow, because it's like the most dramatic fandom that I've seen. And I think and I mean that like lovingly as well, because they have a lot of like moments where it's like every little piece of news is people talking, you know?
There's good and bad things. I'd definitely say that. I think the best boss is a good example. Even though I do feel like some people took it a bit far, but like I think mostly guys would have good attitude situation. So like then again, I'm like the 7 people that doesn't think Ministry of the Abomination, or doesn't despise Soundtrack's ending. So I'm the
Yeah, it's very hard to have an opposite opinion of the Power Rangers fans, especially on Twitter.
Firstly for me, I'm more. I love all places, but as of recent, I've been more like going into the Super Raya side of the fandom because I feel like that part of the fandom to me is a lot more wholesome and like more calm.
The Toei side of the fandom is really like getting kind of on my nerves. It's just like, especially like the people that go with the Toei shows and the best shows.
Like,
there's other stuff out there. Like, just because there's Sentai and Rider doesn't mean not other things.
Yeah, anything Super Raya puts out to me, I just love. I love all the Ultimate series. I love Gridman, both Gridman and SSX Gridman, Ultimate Anime, and like I love going to all Super Raya's other shows like Redman, who is my favorite one to talk about because he's the mass murderer.
I love Ultraman Ace because he like dissects monsters for a hobby.
My friend, Joker is like, because we talk about Ultraman, where the purity of Ultraman is really,
oh my god, I'm getting Super Saiyan 4 right now. Oh god. Oh god.
A question about, Super 4 is not transformation like on the Frieza, no?
It's a super. But it's a very specific super, because I believe you have to have lost both your allies in order to activate it.
That's interesting.
So it's like Goku's desperation move.
I'm assuming it's a very popular
down on me
then.
if I were you. I can hold my own in a fight.
Yeah, it's a level 3 super, so you have to have like 3 meters, and then it's really strong because that almost got me.
Yeah.
Darkon's usually like incredibly good at fighting games, even when he hasn't played them.
Yeah.
And he almost always beats me, but like FighterZ and Guilty Gear, like the 2 times I can actually hold my own pretty good.
I guess going into the GT Goku here, I both like and kind of a little disappointed. Not because it's another Goku. I think that's kind of a complaint that I just think it's just kind of a little exaggerated because like. Like we rather have another Goku that has make a good potential moveset, or we rather have Frieza Soldier from the Budokai Tenkaichi games.
Yeah, I mean, there's still.
I thought that was kind of interesting, but it's nothing that I want to see again, though.
Yeah, true.
I think for the game it was like that was a good idea, but I think for a game like FighterZ, everyone's more unique, so it's like you don't want to have just generic fighter. You want to have
like when people mentioned all is Goku, I always give credit that none of the Gokus play alike. Like we have Super Saiyan Blue, what else we have? Normal Goku, GT Goku. That's it, right? I'm not counting Goku Black.
We got the 3. Because we got base form Goku, who's like a great like hand-to-hand, meat and potatoes fighter like Yamcha. Then you got Super Saiyan, which is more super move based. Then Super Saiyan Blue, which is like a lot more counters and mix-ups. And then GT's got the different size. Like he's it's the kid Goku. I love original Dragon Ball, but I think GT Goku is a little bit more interesting than just kid Goku from Dragon Ball. And that's just because of the Super Saiyan transformation. Like it throws in some different stuff.
One thing I like about GT Goku in this game, it's GT Goku definitely, but I might feel it's making GT Goku but half of the power to Goku.
Yeah, he does have the power pole. That's the thing. He uses the power pole extensively in these combos.
Yeah, when I first saw GT Goku had the power pole, I was thought Hana because I love that movie.
Oh yeah, that movie's fantastic. And so it's kind of like it's not just GT Goku, it's path to power Goku with the GT transformation.
Yeah, that's how I personally see it. You know, the point inside me is like I kind of wish it was Super Saiyan 4 because I love Super Saiyan 4. Like I'm like the heathens that don't think GT's that awful, and like I kind of wish Super Saiyan 4 was in the game, but like. No, like
I think Super Saiyan 4 would only be like, it would be slightly redundant to Super Saiyan God in a way.
Yeah,
just in power level, right?
Yeah, I think that's why they wanted to keep Goku.
Plus you get like, yeah, like we said, like it doubles as a path to power here.
Yeah.
By the way, I'm using Easter costumes I unlocked. Weird other variants. It's like the spring.
It's because there was an Xbox license that said it could be Nimba costumes.
Just something. I don't know what's going on with that.
Another thing that's interesting is you can actually technically use like Dragon Ball Goku technically because no! Soundout, look!
Oh, that's just his normal level 3 then.
Whoa!
Alright, we need to try to do that move. I should try to do that move. Let me try to do it real quick. Let's just like pause our normal fight. I want to try to activate it and see if it does the same. Oh no, he just did Spirit Bomb instead!
Not the same move!
Okay, so
what I'm saying there is a Dragon Ball skin, like the red V.
Yeah,
on this game.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to get at. Yeah.
Okay, so what it looks like is if you lose one ally, you get Super Saiyan 4. Otherwise, it's going to be a Spirit Bomb.
Yeah, question. I'm assuming, so, I'm assuming if you have all your elemental items, I'm assuming Goku's level 3, right? Let it be level 2.
His level 3 was Spirit Bomb this time.
So, if you lose those, I don't have the game anymore, so I can't say I can stream this going on. I'm assuming that if you don't have all your party variety, it's just Spirit Bomb, but you lose the party member to Is that game right?
That's what we just figured out. Because I had all 3 characters still, and I used the level 3 super and got Spirit Bomb, while Darkon had lost 1, and he got, Super Saiyan 4, so that apparently if you lose an ally, then you get Super Saiyan 4.
Is there another character that has a unique special like that? You lose a party member? What was it? I forget.
The Kaioken for base Goku actually gets more powerful depending on how many allies you've lost.
Okay.
That one's a less obvious difference, for sure.
Is there a pure blue gi for Kid Goku?
There's a color variant that gives them lighter blues, and it's the same color between both.
Okay, because GT Goku has the tan pants, and the original blue gi is just all blue.
Yeah, I'm gonna exit the ring real quick, Darkon. I'm gonna go over to the training mode so we can show off. Yeah, let's go to practice so we can show off the colors.
Man, that's pretty nuts.
If anyone wondering why I'm not playing, I don't have the game anymore. I used to have the game, I did, but I unsold because I was a bum and needed to buy. I think I had to trade it in to get what game was coming out around that time? I think I want to say I was gonna get Tales of Vesperia for Switch, and I needed
that one, yeah.
And I was a bum and needed to. And I'm a huge Tales fan, so I want to get that game now. And like, I'm hoping ArcSys does a like a special edition, because I'm looking at the character roster now. GT Goku's added. I think they only had 3 characters to add, because I don't think if they, whoever the next character is, and Broly, movie Broly and movie Gogeta added, I don't think they can add anybody more in this character system, because it's almost filled.
It's almost filled. So what we have is we have 3 more characters coming, so we can add 1 below base Vegeta on the middle row, and then 2 more next to Jiren and Videl.
Yeah, Gogeta and Broly. Yeah, I think once Season 2 is done, I think they might release a big, Dragon Ball FighterZ.
They'll probably do like a DLC bundle pack, kind of like the Street Fighter Arcade Edition.
Yeah, the next upgrade. That's why I had to sell my copy, because
So color for GT Goku. Sorry, real quick. Color for GT Goku is the blue gi with the white pants, like he had at the end of Z.
Okay. My biggest complaint with FighterZ DLC is so expensive.
Yeah, I mean, I think the first pass was $30 and the second pass was $25.
I can deal with
At least
25.
it isn't dead or alive.
Oh,
God,
don't,
don't
that's
even. No, but this because the second pass is only 6 characters. The first pass is 8.
Okay.
So they made it a little bit cheaper.
20, yeah, $30 DLC is a very iffy thing for me to get. Like 25 at least, that's fine. Like
I didn't mind 30 and you get 8 characters. I mind 30 when you only get 6 at like Street Fighter. That was like that.
Oh yeah, that's Fighter Division has been. People, I just hear like Street Fighter 5 is not that great.
I like Street Fighter 5. It's not horrible. It's just got like a ton of problems. I mean, they fixed a lot of their problems over the years.
It's like interesting because like Street Fighter 5, the game is not that well received, but like I've been reading the Elon Street Fighter comments of the late, and I've been really loving them. I got
okay, Goku. How many level 3 supers do you have?
Wait, what? 15?
I just got another one of like normal Dragon Fist.
How did I get that? Like,
and here's okay. So then I got Spirit Bomb. That makes 2.
And then something 4.
It'd be nice if they, I mean, it'll be interesting if they have like one of his finishers is maybe like just a regular like Kamehameha. Like, oh look, this Goku is now impersonating all the forms of base Goku as a kid. It's crazy.
I still question why the girls really want to have a wizard in this game.
Oh right, because she has the different hair.
Your pigtails Videl with your hair, Videl.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one I like that a lot.
I think Trunks might have had it because he's got the short hair and long hair design too.
And the super design.
Yeah. I hope for the next game we do get extra
costumes.
Yeah, extra costumes. I know here they were working on the mechanics more than anything. So.
Hello, Dark Kamen. Welcome to the chat.
Oh, Dark Kamen. Welcome. I didn't even know something popped up in the chat.
And this is a good thing you guys had me that time. I could read the chat for you guys.
Yeah, that really helps. It's like when I was doing Battle for the Grid, I always like trying to like keep up in the chat when just playing it once. So
I could add. This is a PG stream. I think we should read the PG stream.
PG stream. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Because
yeah,
Wheelchair's not here. Wheelchair and Metal don't know how to keep themselves in check. Anyways.
You should like give me you should give me the video file. Every time they curse, I'll just pull like a random sound effect and censor them.
Oh yeah, that would be funny. I should set up streams with like a soundboard, so I should be like, oop. I need to like if streams become popular enough, I will want to upgrade tech. I'm still trying things out right now.
If you have, I'm assuming you don't have a capture card. I'm assuming Soundout.
I do not currently. No. I wanted to do remote play to my computer, but my computer was like, no, you need a more advanced OS X, and my computer also is like, you can't upgrade your OS X. So, or should I say, remote play was telling me I needed to upgrade, and I can't. Not right now.
Yeah, so. Like I made a stream template just in case you do and not on PlayStation.
Yeah, because I can do emulation stuff, and I got a bunch of examples.
Play the bad like Steve West. Like just have I like this merit of the bad Power Rangers games. Like
oh yeah, live stream through all the Power Rangers games.
Yeah, like
okay, I picked up the Dragon Fist again, guys.
Is it question? I'm not sure anybody found out yet, but is there any dramatic finishes for Goku?
What was that?
Is there any dramatic
finishes? That I don't know actually. We don't know yet. There's not enough characters in the game that will kind of lead into dramatic finishes.
I know. Try the Dragon Fist Piccolo. I want to see. Do you punch Piccolo to the stomach?
I don't know. Because they're very picky. Okay, so here's the thing. It looks like Dragon Fist Explosion and... Oh, okay, I see.
Soundout.
Yeah, it's R1 versus R2, so...
different 47.
Wheelchair saying that you need to lower down your gameplay audio. Apparently yours overpowering everyone right now.
Oh, okay.
Really?
Let me, broadcast settings.
hold it back.
I remember now. FighterZ is a much louder game than Battle for the Grid. Yeah. Whoops.
Like Udana have a much louder voice compared to like say Max the Defender.
Okay, so yeah, that's like a thing I noticed.
Something like that.
The audio in game for Power Rangers, like the voices in game, are like one level, and then they're super quiet in the intros.
Yeah, I know. I know someone playing the Max. I know that for Max the Defender was like, he's like, you don't know what I'm playing for. So when I was playing it, I was like, you don't know what I'm playing for. It was like really quiet.
Yeah, I wonder if there is an audio adjustment bug.
I did. There might be one because Udana is so quiet, really loud.
Yeah.
That's like, yeah. I love the voice acting is great for about the Grid. But the problem is, it's like there's some other movements I have with that game. Not just that, but like Randy Slayer having the normal Kimberly.
I know. I wish there was like alternate audio for that. That seemed like a really bad oversight.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there.
I have no problem with Strawberry. What's the Strawberry? What's her full Strawberry Club movie? Is there?
Yeah.
I like this Kim.
I really like her Kim. Like, I've liked her playing Kim ever since she got everyone to cry at Multipon during the Shattered Grid live read.
So I like her Kim, like very more regular Amy Jo Johnson Kim. I've been reading ever since you told me what Goku Power Rangers. I've been reading Goku Power Rangers. I'm loving Goku Power Rangers.
I honestly love that comic more than the main Mighty Morphin.
Oh yeah. The main comic's good. The main comic's good. I will say it, but like I love the character stuff in Goku Power Rangers so much. Strawberry can do really good Amy Jo Kim. But I noticed real reading Goku Power Rangers that Kim is very different from normal Kim from the show, and which is a good thing in my eyes. I love Kim and Goku Power Rangers, but like Strawberry is definitely doing a more is Kim, what do you call Kim, like Kimberly in the show, a Valley Girl?
Yeah, Kimberly had like the Valley Girl thing. Yeah.
Oh, Soundout, he still says that you need to adjust it. Apparently, it's so bad that every time we hear like Kid Goku, he's so loud we can't even.
What the heck? Okay, hold on. I had adjusted it, and it didn't go. Let me see how that is. I went on the far extreme this time, so I want to check it out.
Xenoverse 2, especially some of the DLC stuff, has some horrible like audio problems, and that's not like a Funimation problem. That's a Bandai problem.
Oh yeah.
Like in the major DLC story they added, the one with they have audio problems with it. It has the same problem about the essentially the very quiet, but like the ending section has a lot of audio problems. So like I think Bardock was Japanese only.
Yeah, that's definitely a thing. I just realized I could probably adjust this. Here we go.
I think that's what you need to do.
Let me just I'm gonna kick it down here. Check it out and see if that's gonna work. Okay, let's see. What am I trying to do here? Health bar settings. That's what I need. No recovery. Wait, hold on. Recovery, but no recovery. Oh wait, we want auto recovery.
I find it so strange that they only introduced Goku by himself. And it was like, usually it's always been like a pack of 2, but now it's just a pack of 1. I find that interesting.
I have a feeling like the reason they're doing that is because Gogeta and Broly are taking longer.
Yeah.
So there's this.
What do you, how, look, you know, it's one thing I'm glad, like, all the Gokus play different, but like, Broly, I'm like, how would regular Broly and Super Broly be very different? Because
it's good. They have different move sets at least, and the thing is we don't know if they're gonna do like What they could do is the progressive thing, so he's like normal Super Saiyan Broly, and then like his level 3 he goes into legendary mode or something like that.
Yeah, Wheelchair says to break it down from like a 50 to a 35.
Oh jeez, it's still that loud.
Bandai, goddamn it, Bandai, your audio engineering is... Jesus Christ, Bandai.
Alright, I'll bring it down to 35, and then see if that works.
Yeah.
Okay. See if
So
that works.
what do you guys think? Why do you guys think it's gonna be that last like DLC here to be announced?
I'm hoping for Kefla. I'm hoping for Kefla.
I'm hoping because I'm hoping we need more female characters in this game.
And with that, it's like you don't have to pick Kale or Caulifla. You just get Kefla.
I mean, that's why they choose Go. That's why they choose Gotenks. That's why they choose Gotenks.
Yeah, it's like you said, you pick Gotenks. It's why you get fuse to Zamasu. It's just because like for the most part, the game's been about. I'm trying to forget. I can't remember what I'm doing with the training here for the dummy. Where are the dummy settings? How am I not picking this
How
up?
to make him more stupid? How to make him more stupid?
Character settings. Where is the? See, I see training dummy recording settings, but that's not what I want. I want him to kill me so I can get the enemy settings. Duh. There we go.
Yeah.
CPU. All right. CPU. Just... Resume. There's a plan here.
You know what? I'm really surprised. I'm really surprised that they didn't do like a story mode update or like a story mode part, like a new story mode add with the DLC.
Actually, the recent update apparently added something to the story. I don't know exactly what it is because I actually still haven't finished the main story yet. But apparently the recent update did update something.
Wait, do you have End of 21 then or no?
Oh no, I haven't got that far at all. Like I'm still near the beginning because I was just playing with the online mode.
I don't blame you because I like the story mode's writing, but it's drag to get through.
The problem with it is that unfortunately it reminds me a lot of Budokai 2 with that stupid like board game thing. Like, it's not as bad as that one, but it annoys me because most of the game is kind of like that, and they could have found a better way to implement the story than just that. I mean, I guess it's better than just usually seen with a lot of the games where it's just like, here's the menu, oh, go to the next one, here's the story, oh, here's the menu. So I guess
I would say the best story mode for a Dragon Ball game that's not like the Xenoverse games is Budokai Tenkaichi 2. And I know people say Budokai 1, but like Budokai 1 story mode aged like cheese because of those cutscenes are youth. I think Budokai Tenkaichi 2, that story was like a full-on RPG story mode, honestly.
Yeah, that's what I'm actually looking forward to, a new Dragon Ball RPG. I just hope that it's
the Cyber Connect game.
Yeah, I just hope that it seems like it's gonna be like that, but I hope it's a little bit more than just, oh, here's the Frieza saga again, here's the Android saga again, just the same stories over and over again.
I imagine being like a Legacy of Goku game where it's probably gonna be those, but it's still gonna have a lot of like original stuff in it.
Yeah.
Because I
actually like those games.
Come on, do the Dragon Fist already, Darky.
Maybe not the first game though, because that first game was so incredibly broken.
It's garbage. It's garbage. It's garbage. Like, do you know Guru has a dungeon in that game?
Yeah. I think what's also incredibly stupid about there is the Ginyu Force are like, their AI is so incredibly broken in that game. However, there is an exploit which pretty much makes you like destroy everyone. Because apparently you end up getting like, I forgot exactly how to do the exploit, but when you're fighting against the Ginyu Force in that game, you have to get hit in a certain way, and you'll be stuck in an invincibility frame. You can just attack. They won't even
There we go.
They'll literally just like non-stop strike you, but they can't get any damage, and then you could just kill them like really easy without getting hit. So that's how broken that first game is.
God, that game, I used to own that game and I hate it so much.
But to be perfectly honest, while that game is kind of a pain, it's not as bad as Sagas, which that's like the worst Dragon Ball game ever made, hands down.
Saga is a special kind of bad, where it's like...
Whoa! What the hell? Sorry, I just got Super Saiyan 3.
Hello, SNS Darkness.
Oh, hey.
Welcome to the chat.
Welcome to the chat. I am currently trying to learn all these dang variant super moves. It looks like the Kamehameha changes to Super Saiyan 3.
This is gonna turn into like that like those like conspiracy theory charts for figuring out how to how many supers does he have?
Like essentially what this is becoming to me, this is what it sounds like to me, is that he has the Kamehameha super, which is a level 1, and then the Dragon Punch, which is a level 3, and then if you've lost allies, they become more powerful. That's what I think is going on here.
Yeah.
So if I do this right, but Spirit Bomb's the same either way. What was that?
It's too loud.
I can't turn it down anymore.
I don't know. It might be something with your.
Yeah, Soundout, go hold on the home button. And I think there should be like an audio setting for the.
Okay, because party audio is maxed out. Audio sharing. I'm going to go into the audio settings. Say include microphone on new clips.
I guess these are the closest things to get to like podcast discussions to sound now since he canceled the soundcast.
I mean, I still do Los Ingonables de Tokusatsu with Hero Club. That's like the podcast I'm on. I just don't do my own anymore because I got tired of editing it. Like, to be perfectly honest, that was like the reason.
It was too much effort for nothing. That was the problem.
If you want, I can edit them. Like if you need an editor, a spare editor.
No, it's all good. Between like doing Metal's show, Metal's Gundam, Ninja Talks Gundam Live, and then also doing I do enough podcasts in a week.
I haven't fully seen the Visible Ninjas Gundam talk, but man, those Gundam umbrellas are sure exciting Gundam news.
Oh, we're gonna talk about them on Monday, 9 p.m. Eastern.
So I guess how do you guys been keeping up with Beast Morphers, Zeo, and stuff like that?
I have with Zeo. I've been with Beast Morphers. Soundout's kind of just been avoiding Zeo because it's not the best show.
I gave up after the Ryuki episodes. I was just like,
okay, I can't blame you. The Agito. Okay, my biggest problem with Zeo is the Agito episode and the Blade episode really feels like what the show should have done in the first place.
Yeah, the problem is the show's lost me already, and I haven't finished Blade, and I don't remember how Agito ended because it's been like 8 years since I watched it.
I haven't. Same here. But I still really enjoyed those episodes. But the problem is, like, what really hurt, like, because in here, like, those episodes are perfect tribute episodes. Like, should have been what the tribute episodes for the other writers should have been. No stupid, like, they forgot their memories or the another writer, like, wipes the history out. None of that. It just, the Time Jackers steal the power of the Legend Rider. They team up and mentor Sugo, Gaze, and Woz and Tsukiyomi. And in the end, they team up. That's like a perfect tribute episode. And then, but before all of that, it's all like time travel nonsense.
Yeah.
Like, I survived. You survived through the up to the Ryuki arc because I hated the Ozark.
I kind of had to binge watch 8 episodes in one evening. My mom and I watched Kamen Rider together, but she was asleep for most of it in the early binging.
Yeah.
And I think she slept through the Ryuki episodes too, to be honest. And it's like,
in my opinion, I think the worst arc we got really was the Fies one, because it's like,
the Forze Fies hybrid.
But I understand.
Yeah, that was stupid.
I understand if Gentalo's actor was busy during that time, but like he did.
There was no point to have a Forze arc. They should have just done the Fies arc.
Did he do? Like, didn't Gentalo's actor did a voice cameo? I forget. Did he?
No,
he didn't.
that wasn't him.
That wasn't him. Like, he didn't do any cameo because he was busy with Bleach.
If that's the case, then they should have saved the Forze tribute episode like they are with Drive.
Like, the thing was is that my biggest problem I had was that the show was trying to rush through all of these tributes, it seemed, and I was like, what's the point of rushing the tributes? You can do 40. You have a 50-episode series and only 20 shows to tribute, or 19 shows to tribute.
We all know
you
the
have
real
plenty
reason
of time.
why they did that, though. Like, we all know the real reason why they did that.
So they could do the fake-ass future writers?
Oh no, it's because, oh look, we're gonna release like 10 plus watches. We need to bum rush as much as we can for the marketing of what we release.
But Darkon, they released Haikyuu and Blade Watch before those episodes.
I know, but at the same time, there was other stuff they were releasing at the time, so they were just trying to bum rush getting to that point, basically.
Like,
I'm gonna do a local match real quick just to take what I've learned.
Yeah,
See what
because
happens.
like, oh, the build, like, I know that was like the Ozark really got me angry. The build, like, I understand why the build arc was so short because they had the movie, but the build arc was abominable. It was not only how the first episode.
Well, the build
sucked.
arc also like intersected with the setup for the series.
Yeah, I know, but like that's just the whole time. Like they shouldn't have done that stupid another writer. Like if another writer exists, then the writer does this plot because that leaves so many holes into the whole Kamen Rider continuity. Because
another problem is, oh look, only the original writer can destroy it. It was fine for like a little bit, and then it started getting really ridiculous. So when the ZO2 came out, it's like, oh look, now we can finally defeat the writers without needing the original writer to defeat them.
Yeah, like I think that one of the things is that they rushed too much of the early part of the show, and I think the later episodes have been better, is what I'm hearing. But again, haven't watched them because I was like, the Ryuki episodes like made me bored, and I'm like, I love Ryuki, I should not be bored right now. But it was just like I was getting bored by the let's go talk to the Wazes plot that was overtaking the show at that point, and for the foreseeable future.
At least we don't have to worry about that anymore because of the whole situation.
The White Woes plot was so pointless. Like, here's the thing, like, the best part of the I give credit to the show, like, yeah.
You know what, I'll just say, okay, since Soundout's not going to really watch this anytime soon and all that, so do you know exactly what happened with White Woes?
Is it similar to what happened with Goku Black and Zamasu here, where they just became one being?
Kind of.
Oh no, basically what happened is the timeline was continuing what it was because you know how he's all broken with this book and everything, and pretty much just like show all the future and everything and all that usual, and then pretty much makes it his own plot. Here's the thing. First, Black Waz stole the belt from him, but that still didn't make him leave. Do you know what made him disappear?
What?
The Trinity Watch came into existence. Because that watch existed and it doesn't exist in his time period, he wiped himself, that wiped him from existence.
Oh, so they Hakai'd him.
Yeah, so eventually he realized, like, he pretty much just accepted defeat and all, it's like, pretty much, like, good game and all that, and then it's like, well, it's time for me to disappear, basically, so then, boom, he's gone. He just...
Hey guys, CPU kind of wiped the floor with me.
I got really confused with that because... I thought that was confusing because I thought that was like I thought he was going for multiverse theory with that one, but no, I guess not.
I really wish the future writers could have been like, actually, like, here's our next 3 Kamen Riders, we're gonna feature them and then have them show up.
But it really is a shame too that the Shinobi was such a better series. Better two-part. The only thing that was a problem was the whole let's make the sister fall in love with her brother plot. I'm like, that's the only part that was a problem.
That was so icky.
Like, I like how my Kikai, I hate his suit, but I really like Kikai that, like,
I like the fact that he's Kikaider.
Yeah, that too.
I
hate Kamen Rider.
Okay, Quiz is a stupid.
He was a douche.
And also he had, like, the Evil Dad storyline, and I was like, oh god, I hate the Evil Dad storyline writer.
You know, I always say something about that. Why do people like mean and joke about that, the Evil Dad plot more? Like joke about that, meanwhile the Power Rangers do just 2 dudes like missing dad plot, like people get angry. Like, I have more problem with Evil Dad since that's been a thing since what, Double? Like ever since Double? Like Double?
Yeah.
Double?
Well, the thing was is that it evolved from Evil Dads to the Evil Dads are also like the evil Kamen Rider from the end of the series. And it's like, it's stuff that even bled into Amazon's that was really annoying. I was like, oh my god, even Amazon's isn't clear of it.
I understand why people, like, this is like another thing I have question mark with the Power Rangers fans. Why do people get so hussy with the missing dad plot? They only did 2 times, and I'll give
I think the problem is that they did it back to back, and because they did it 2 times, but it was 4 seasons, it felt like it was just the only thing we ever got from Power Rangers.
Yeah, I guess.
And there wasn't anything else that was good to distract from it either.
I can at least get credit for at least get credit that at least they're not the same.
Well, here's the sad part.
Idea.
At least people are not really complaining about the missing dad thing anymore because of the situation what happened with a certain duo of BJ Stag, and that part situation got worse because of Blake Foster. So
Blake Foster
now
became an evil dad.
Yeah, he became the evil.
But question: you said about the grid stream that what was it? I think he said, "Oh, my son did." Is that I didn't see that tweet. Is that true?
Yeah, that's what he said. He literally said that like, "Oh, it was the joke my son made," and I was like, "You have to be pretty low to push off the blame to your child. Like, I'm sorry, you need to own up to what you did and move forward, not push the blame onto your child."
I'll say this about the Blake Foster situation. I feel like people saying, "Oh, Justin," I feel like they're because I'm one of those people that can separate the actor and the character because I'm a voice actor guy, not actor guy. So like, I can I didn't really know about Blake Foster until like when he started talking about when he started social media and stuff like that. So I don't mind. I still don't think Justin is a bad character, but like I feel it's unfair. People going like I seen do you guys know about the Ranger recap people?
Roughly. I mean, I think it's just like going after starting a hate train for a character just isn't. I need to change this.
Like the Easy Rider, he made a long time ago. He made a top 10 Power Ranger mistake, and he said Justin was like the worst thing ever, and he did like a gag where he shot Justin, and like he said that in the news when he did that news with Blake Foster that he's like oh I was thinking maybe Justin's not that bad, and he's like nah. I'm like again I do agree that Blake Foster did was scummy, but like I think like point that blame that Justin's unfair because like that's the character is so different from the actor that I can unsee that because like
he's also a kid.
Yeah, he's also a kid. Like the fact, like yeah, like he's a kid. Like I disagree that heavily. Yeah, and like I think I think I just have a lot.
Oh my gosh, this spring outfit. There's spring outfit lobby characters apparently, where they're just in like, oh my god, it's Frieza in a kimono.
Are we gonna go back to battle?
Yeah, let me get a new ring set up. You're just on the same lobby, right?
Yeah, I've just been waiting.
Yeah, no, I was doing some stuff to like learn character things.
Yeah.
Edit my team. Okay, so it's the same information as before.
I have no idea where you are.
I'm in the same lobby, so I'm up by the local battle.
Oh, there you are. Everything just went quiet for a few seconds, and then I don't know. That was weird.
I'm gonna keep using the springtime colors because like an all pink cooler is pretty hilarious.
Yeah.
Springtime for Frieza.
Sorry, I had to do something. As I was saying, yeah, I just think it's unfair, very unfair that people do like this hate train Justin again because like, I don't think Turbo is a great season, but I don't think it's bad as people make it out to be.
I think Justin's the most competent character in Turbo, to be honest.
Yeah. Because like, and I personally don't think it's a gay stew because to me a gay stew has to be this like.
There has to be no reason for why they do anything, but like Justin earned his place. He worked himself up. He was a built-up character. I do agree that the concept of Justin is like a gigantic question mark. Like Nanga Sentai has Kiba Ranger and King Ranger, so I don't know, but like and it's funny because in O Ranger. In O-Ranger, Riki was the most competent O-Ranger, so...
Well, that's because of the lot of the rewrites, was it because of the Japanese...
It was because of, there was a terrorist incident.
Yeah, the terrorist act, the terrorist act.
Look at Springtime Kula, he's so pink. He is so pink and pretty. He looks like a Easter egg that's come to kill you.
Oh, yeah, wheelchair. I understand where you're coming from. Like, I don't think he's like a pure ghost dude. Like, and sometimes he can be, but like, but I don't think he's like a pure ghost dude. But like, personally, I have some like, what's his name? Eric Berry? Is that the guy with is that like the big Toku Power defending guy? Eric Berry? Is that his name?
Oh yeah, no, that guy's cool. Like, I met him in person. Like, he's got some like, he can be pretty harsh with opinions, but like, I met him. He was good. Nice to meet him.
I have an issue with him like taking videos of cutting his like foster photo because I feel like
I thought that was a little too far too, but I mean,
I feel like first I understand the line, but I feel like you could easily sold that eBay for like winning fans,
or just give it to somebody, yeah.
Or donate it to charity, or donate for money for charity. I feel like I don't understand. I totally understand why you want to get rid of it. I just feel like he could have done something a little more less
toxic and hateful.
Toxic, because like if I was just like that, and let's say an actor I really like has done I don't not fully terrible, like very scummy things like toxic. I personally would just, I would get rid of the stuff I have, and like just like sell it for money or like help people who need money. You know, because I'm pretty much I'm helping someone, and not like, and I'm doing the opposite of what Blake is doing, is helping someone, helping and like being positive instead of like achieving that negativity.
Right.
I give credit to Toka Chris. He realized that he was taking some of the drama too far, and he realized that, which I'm very grateful because not a lot of people do that. And I'm very glad that I have issues with Toka Chris in terms with some of his opinions, but like I don't like it's not to the point where I don't like him. But,
yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it's like, you know, online interaction is different than face Darkon. We need to stop like doing that. Sorry, Darkon and I just kept like, we both would charge at each other and then just clash midair.
I'm trying to survive here.
I know you're trying to survive. This is the
I haven't won a single match so far.
This is one of 2 games. This is one of 2 games that I can actually beat you at. It's true. I love fighting games, but I'm not very good at them.
So, going to speak of Power Rangers, so how are you guys liking Beast Morphers? How you guys liking Beast Morphers?
It honestly feels like... It honestly feels like the last 8 years of Neo Saban never happened, and we just kind of kept the quality from RPM onward. Like, I feel like we just kind of... It felt like the next step instead of without all the regression we had.
I would still say that I don't think... I will still defend Downcharge's good aspects. Yeah, there's a lot of problems, but, like, I still say that's the best of that Saban era. Like, I feel like...
Yeah, I mean, I think that, like, it's fair to say that it is the best of the Neo Saban era. But then, like, for me, I'm like, yeah, but it also is... It still wasn't up to par, and it's like...
I would say it's a nice step in direction. That was like... I always keep saying this about Ninja Steel Downcharge, is like... It's good, it's... Well, they sue... Because a lot of the problems, like a lot of the writers and producers come out to say that a lot of the problems with it is from Saban hindering them a lot. So I'll always give credit.
The issue with Ninja Steel is not really so much Ninja Steel. It's because they decided, because they were using kind of one of the worst Sentais we had in years because of annoying characters and other problems.
Worse.
It's hard to make things better from such a terrible season. Yeah. So that's what ended up.
And then on top of that, you have Haim Saban and his, you know, iron fist of you do what I want to do. Yeah, like, I'm really glad the franchise is away from him, because he's a really... He is one of those business people that's really terrible to the people that work for him. And it's...
Yeah, like,
even back to the Mighty Morphin days.
I mean, the whole, you know...
the pay issue.
Walter Jones, and, yeah.
Even the David Yost situation, you did nothing to help him.
Yeah, the David Yost, yeah.
One of the nicest things Saban did was pay for leukemia treatments for Valerie Vernon.
Yeah, like, I would say this with Downcharge and News. I think, well, at least with Downcharge especially, in order for a lot of the restrictions that Saban put on that team, I think Downcharge really made a perfect fine season. because like at least I was again I seriously Megaforce is the lowest low of Power because that is boring, no emotion. Not because none of the staff and actors didn't put any emotion they want to. It just Zacher didn't want them to. It's like that.
Directing is a big thing when it comes to actors. You could have Meryl Streep in Power Rangers Megaforce still would have been bad because of everything around it. The script and the direction can make a bad actor or make a good actor into something bad, you know?
And the fact that season 1 was almost, like, I want to say, it was 80, it's only a chart, it was like 88% Ghost Sager, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like, I used to say that's so low, because even with Ninja Steel and Naruto's problems, I will always give the credit that at least there is definitely effort. Like at least effort originality with those two than Megaforce, because Megaforce here does not allow to do anything in that show.
Oh yeah, and the thing is, in regards to that, like, the thing with Megaforce is like, oh, they were saving their money to not pay actors during Super Megaforce when they came back.
Yeah, like...
Come fly to New Zealand on your own means and appeared in unpaid cameo.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
God,
right.
that was awful.
That was the worst. Like, I give credit. A lot of the original ideas the writers want to do on Megaforce, I actually did like a lot of the concepts that Megaforce tried to do. I give credit. And I feel like if Boom Studios would take those concepts and make a Megaforce comic, I think it could turn out great. Such a I
think the only thing they'd have, I think it'd have to be several years from now because the Megaforce name is associated with something unsuccessful.
Yeah, bad, but like in the Ultimate Universe, like especially you gave it to Ryan Patriot, is that his name? Ryan Patriot?
Brian Perot.
Yeah, Brian Perot. I can imagine the concept of Megaforce turning out great. Because like even
Bardock, you sound so angry in this game. Sorry, it was just like he sounds so angry.
Sony's shirt, it's come down.
It's like, dude, who killed your puppy?
Frieza!
Frieza killed
He blames everything. He blames anything that any bad that has been Bardock said he blames Frieza.
Speaking of which, Frieza just showed up.
But as I was saying, yeah, like I feel like if he can take, I can see Ryan take.
I'm so happy he's taking over the Mighty Morphin comic. I really am.
Oh yeah, God, the Skull Power. I've been like 10-ish. Even getting like I thought I was 8 issues in. I just love it. Like just like also I personally I like who's the main artist for Mighty Morphin?
I don't remember.
I forget, but like
Dan
like
Mora did a lot of Go-Go. And
yeah,
Dan Mora does the art for. I think Dan Mora is my favorite artist on Power Rangers, and I don't just say that because he did all the art for Battle for the Grid and also all the art for the Power Rangers Heroes of the Grid board game. He just does all the art for all the character cards, all the everything. It's fantastic.
Yeah, like I want to say this for like a lot of the people I had, a lot of people who want some things in the show. I kind of disagree. A lot of people like ask like why is there no like argument, like why is no like city fighting back with the Power Rangers? Why there's no like oh like we see the reconstruction of the city? My response always that is like I don't think kids really don't want to see that because like I feel like
it makes the show too heavy. Like the second you start bringing up casualty and property damage, it makes the show too heavy and realistic.
Yeah, and I personally feel that I think the fandom forgets sometimes that
the show is
for kids.
Yeah,
I sometimes feel like that, and like the comics are that's what the comics are for because they're clearly meant for older audience. Like Zach and Zach swears a lot in Go-Go Power Rangers.
Yeah, like the thing is like it's like. The comics are, and just generally comic books nowadays have been more, teen and adult focused than they are kid focused.
Unless you're Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yeah.
Which is not a bad thing.
There's still I honestly could think a middle school kid would have no problem reading the Power Rangers comics and still enjoy it.
Yeah, no problem at all.
Yeah, it's like, if you get like a 5-year-old trying to read Beyond the Grid, that would be interesting, but no, it's just like Beyond the Grid's a short novel. I was reading issue 38 today, and I was just like,
oh my gosh, I really hated that one couple
am
of
I
panels.
reading a
And I get it
novel
because it was
right now?
exposition.
Don't spoil, please. Don't spoil. I have not got to that point yet.
Well, you haven't got to that point, but let me just warn you
okay.
that like there are 6 pages that are almost completely text. Like,
oh god,
it is just
that's
all.
my
It is.
problem.
It's what I call Brian Michael Bendis syndrome, because Brian Michael Bendis,
Yeah, I'm about to mention,
he just
yeah, I was about to
fills
mention
the
that.
page with words, and half the time, like when I'm reading a Bendis comic, I'm just like, did you not give any like leeway to your artist to tell the other half of the story, or do you just feel like you need to tell everything? And that's why I don't like Bendis as a writer, like because I just feel like he doesn't respect his artists.
Yeah, I agree. But I kind of grew to not like his writing in over time.
Yeah, I was very
And
upset
then-
when he got on Superman, because I'm like, damn it, now I can't read Superman comics.
I
put myself on a
just say the
Bendis
worst- I used to say the worst is have you seen read Marvel?
Oh God, I haven't
Marvel
read it, but
issue
I've
3.
watched the Linkara videos on it.
Yeah, the issue 3 is like what went wrong there?
Right.
You had a Bendis band. I had a Greg Land band because I hate Greg.
I have a
Land's
Greg
artwork.
Land band, but I had to keep buying stuff because he keeps doing covers. He doesn't do interiors for stuff, but it's like he did the covers for Domino, and I'm like, I am here for Gail Simone. I am not here for Greg Land covers.
I'm not sure you read this, Soundout, but Symbiote Spider-Man had some horrendous art. First of all, I don't even know what that book's supposed to be.
Hey, come on, stop hitting yourself.
That book, the Symbiote Spider-Man, just came out, I think I say last month, like, it's just 2 issues now. Symbiote Spider-Man, I don't really understand what's going on in that book, because I think it's going to be, like, right after Peter got the black suit from Secret Wars.
There's so
And,
many
like,
Spider-Man comics right now. I'm only reading Amazing because I just can't keep up with all of like the other ones.
I just started reading the 2018 run of Amazing Spider-Man. I really like that. Into the end, when we see a court judge who have rats burst out his neck. And I'm like, damn it! This book was perfect for kids. You were good. Into that one, you screwed it up. Yeah, like, I really, like, I compare, like, for me, the Marvel and DC, it's more like I need to find the book to get, I need to really find a book for me to get interesting, because, it's not because it's not more like I'm a fan of the continuity issue, it's more like I just need to find what
You need a good story. Like, I always say that continuity issues wouldn't be a problem if the stories were able to be followed. Like for example, like, if you have to, like, pick up 4 different comics just to read a crossover, like, that's annoying. But if it's just, like, a contained miniseries...
It's you just said the biggest problem with the Sonic Mega Man World Unite crossover. I've been reading that now, and it's messy.
Oh yeah, it's hard to follow, like, when you have, like, multiple different books on stuff, because... And, like... Yeah, so I like it's either if it's self-contained, like if it's an event comic that's like self-contained, like for example, Amazing Spider-Man's had the storyline with the Hunted storyline, and it's all self-contained, and there's little extra issues they threw in to like space it out. Like that's worked really nicely. And then like some things like Doomsday Clock is like, oh hey, it's its own series. Like that's what makes it easier to read comics. I was waiting to read that later because I just have too many books right now.
If it feels like this is like a follow up to a previous book because they mentioned stuff in that first.
I think it follows up on stuff from Detective Comics.
Oh, hey, wheelchair.
Oh, there. Okay, I was confused what he was asking for.
Yeah, he wanted an invite to the party. Yeah, it's because I have people on my friends list that I don't want to randomly join.
Make sure you're setting. Go to your settings to make sure your sounds share with everyone.
We're having issues with it. Yeah, we. But no, okay. I have people on my friends list I don't want to just have randomly jump into the party. So. Last time I invited you all. That's what it was.
So as I was saying, Batman Outsiders problem is it's clearly a follow-up on a book that I haven't read yet.
Yeah, and it's a follow-up to Detective Comics, which I didn't read that part of the Detective Comics run.
Oh,
So-
like I didn't know who I read that, like I didn't know who Signal was until my friend told me who he was. Is
Oh
he
yeah,
part of
Duke
the- is
Thomas.
he-
He's been
and,
he's,
like I
so
how, how
he's
long
been
has he
around.
around.
2013, 2014.
Oh, he's not like that's weird because I'm usually up to date with new like characters and comics.
He
and
got
I just feel like I
introduced
haven't heard-
during the in-game story arc of Scott Snyder's Batman. And it was like it was the after fact, and then he became the leader of the We Are Robin movement.
Is that the story where Batman had to find all the Infinity Stones after Daniel snapped his fingers?
Yes.
Haha.
No, it was the one where him and the Joker have like a final confrontation, and Batman's supposed
Yeah,
to be
I know.
dead.
I heard about that story.
Yeah, it's what led to the Jim Gordon Batman. Which I really loved that arc a lot, actually. I thought at the time, I was like, this is dumb, but then I went back and read it and was like, oh, this is actually...
Is it better than Gotham, at least?
I love Gotham. That's one of my favorite DC shows. I haven't finished it yet, mind you. I'm in like the middle of season 4.
I heard Doom Patrol is wonderful.
Oh, it is.
Doom Patrol is the greatest thing ever.
That show
It's
just
not for the
every
faint of
week.
heart though, because it just makes your head explode.
It's
Honestly,
like
DC
we're
Universe
we're
has been
gonna
on
just
a-
go borrow.
Sorry, well, go ahead.
Oh no, I'm saying they literally like, let's take Grant Morrison's run with it, but let's add it on another level of acid. We know Grant Morrison was on acid when he wrote this, but let's go even further with it.
Let's add in all the Silver Age acid. Like, that's what they really did, was they, like, added in, like, Silver Age madness on top of Grant Morrison madness. While also throwing in a lot of heart and great character work.
Yeah, I've been hearing. My friend keeps recommending that show to me. I need to watch it eventually.
And DC
so I don't
Universe
think
is
that
the most worthwhile subscription I have right now.
Yeah. So wait, Batman Outsiders. Yeah, that's like 50-50 Signal, and I'll say this: I'm not sure he's like this like other appears, but Signal's a whiny brat in that comic.
I've heard that he was like when he was in Detective Comics, he was just like really whiny because like he had his own like 3-issue arc with like Batman and the Signal setting him up as Signal. But like I liked him in We Are Robin. He was great, but then it seems like they haven't like I don't know if it's the wrong writer or what.
Yeah, different writers have different interpretations of it. Yeah.
But yeah, it kind of makes me mad that he's become super whiny now. Like,
I first saw the cover. I'm like, wait, when did they put Mattel Batman variant in the Batman roster?
and it's funny because Mattel didn't make a 6-inch of that costume of Duke Thomas. They did his Robin costume.
I mean, the best thing, like, I personally feel like the best thing out of Mattel as it relates to the DC is that Batman Evergreen line.
Oh yeah, Night Missions is fantastic.
Yeah,
I just wish you could find them. they're so hard to come by because of the distribution problem.
Yeah. You have the same problem. Like, you live in the Eastern Coast, I'm assuming, right, Soundout?
I am actually in New Mexico.
Oh, wait. But, like, none of my Walmarts or, like, Targets, they don't have any DC stuff anymore. I mostly have, like, Mattel's their version of the Picking Heroes. That's all they have.
So here's the general breakdown for me. My Walmarts get the DC Multiverse stuff, my Targets get the DC Basic stuff, and stocking of both is inconsistent and weird. But basically, Target never has Multiverse, and Walmart never has Basic. Like, I'm still trying to complete the Shazam
And I
family
got a rock.
Yeah, and he's got a rock.
But because my Walmart, like some of my Walmarts have some of the Night Mission stuff, but some of my Walmarts, but they don't have the DC. Is it still DC Multiverse? Like Mattel
It's still DC Multiverse, but they haven't released any. Like,
Nope.
this is the thing. They're on their last year of the license. Like, this is it, and yet they're still just dragging their feet on releasing things, and I'm like, you're running out of time. You have like 30 figures on the docket.
We have actually seen more stuff in Bandai Americas last year in general, and even afterwards, than Mattel stuff at the moment.
like,
Which is depressing as all hell, because I'm like,
Yeah.
because that
Like,
Batman Night Missions line's gonna go away too as soon as they lose the license.
Like Spin Master's not a bad company.
Like, I'm really happy though that McFarlane's getting the collector's license because
Oh, that's great. Have you seen
Yeah.
their like anime? Their new anime figures they show up at Toy Fair? Those look great. Like that Deku from My Hero. That figure looks great.
I really want
Hey,
the
it's
One
still
Punch
better
Man.
than their. It's still better than their line of Naruto figures that are like, I don't know, like
Those are-
you said, it was like
Those are horrible.
68 years old now?
No, those are the Toonami ones.
Oh, the Toonami. Oh,
the Toonami ones. They finally made Wave 2 after 8 years.
Oh yeah, like I remember seeing. I went to a GameStop and I saw those. I'm like, I just got like, wait, didn't these came out years ago? Because I remember you reviewed them.
Yeah, they did.
Ago.
They re-released Wave 1 and they finally released Wave 2. And I'm just like, I don't care anymore. Like,
they're small, like because they made. There was a main one. Was it 34-inch, right? 4-inch?
They're about 4 inches, yeah, and they're like $20,
yeah.
and I'm like, why don't you just make 6-inch figures?
Yeah, because those were those would be fine back when the whole like the toy, like a lot of toy companies were going to that scale, and now we're back to 6 inches.
But yet they still are like, yeah, but no, like at least McFarlane's like ever since they did Fortnite. Their Fortnite figures, they like, let's up the articulation, and now they're saying like we're doing that everywhere, which is good because now they're getting DC and they're going to be not just articulated statuettes.
Yeah. Oh god, Mattel toy fantasy was horrible to me. Like, oh.
I almost cried by how horrible it was.
Do you saw that multiverse Batman prototype? That was horrible.
Oh yeah, and then on top of the fact that like we have like all these figures in limbo from last year's Comic-Con, and then they're also like, here's some more, and I'm like, no, just release what you've shown us.
Hey, remember that time you wrote that article about that Comic-Con of figures you're never getting?
Yeah, no, like, what is it, like 5 or 6 of those came out? The Aquaman ones came out, and the Lobo Wave came out.
They came out, I couldn't find them.
Yeah, only at Walmart in my area, and I never finished the Aquaman wave because I just decided I didn't care anymore after a certain point. I got the 2 Shazam figures. I got the Shazam and Savannah at Walmart, and they're like probably some of the best DC Mattel stuff ever. But it doesn't matter because no one can get them anywhere but, you know, certain Walmarts.
Yeah, well, there's I've been very mixed on Mattel's DC line for a long time now.
Ever since the subscription ended at Matty Collector, it's been like a trash fire. And lately, like, you can't even find the trash fire. It's like, you know something's burning, you can smell it, but you just can't find it anywhere.
Yeah,
like the figures finally got good. The Clayface Wave brought in these new bodies, the figures finally got good, they finally got on par with Marvel Legends, but you can't find them anywhere, and they're not even available online.
But that was the biggest issue with DC Universe Classic. Everybody has the same buck. Everybody has the same buck. Either superhero buck, teen buck, or female buck.
And the thing is that like there was $3, but guess what? They pumped out a lot of characters, so you kind of just like you went with it, right?
Yeah, those were cheap, right? They were like $10 or like
They started at $10, and at most they got to I think 17 by the end of one. And then they did the subscription where they were like 20 or whatever plus digital river shipping, which was always terrible. But no, the thing was like they did that, which like again the line was pumping out such a.
Someone mentioned Digital River.
Yeah, they need to die.
They need to go burn in hell.
So the thing is that like the one thing with DC Classics and then the Signature Collection after is that yeah everybody's using the same bucks, but we got such a variety of characters that you could kind of ignore it. You're like, all right, fine, they're all in the same mold, but look how many characters we've gotten. And then so like, now when it's slowed to a crawl with Multiverse, it's like, oh, we're only getting 3 figures per wave. Why are they all the same mold?
Like, the same way where you will with Bandai's Legacy line, which there's a lot of problems. At least the like, in terms of like releasing stuff is decent, unless you're like the last 2 figures, which you're like in Walgreens.
Yeah, and I mean, even then I still see
those. Hard time here.
You happy with your revenge, Darkon? Because I'm going to destroy you. I've been playing bad teams on purpose. I haven't even been using my mains.
And then like there's Mattel this year Toy Fair saying like, oh, we won't get the She-Ra toys. The She-Ra toys won't come out to fall. I'm like, Season 2, at least the first half of Season 2, just came out like a few weeks ago. What are you thinking, Mattel?
Oh, and let's add to that as well. So you have Mattel where it's like, oh, we're not making She-Ra toys till fall. Yeah, okay. You also said that about your 6-inch Jurassic World figures, which are nowhere to be seen. I don't trust anything Mattel says until I get proof of life. I want a prototype. I want a release date. I want it in my hands before I believe it exists, you know?
Speaking of that, didn't Super 7 release She-Ra figures? At least like She-Ra and Capcom?
Yeah, only the first two, and they're really bad just because people are very much paying premium prices for basic figures.
Yeah,
they're just really tall basic figures.
Yeah, I saw like people got like promotional boxes for She-Ra when it first came out. Shows off. I'm like, oh, I want to pick those up because especially after I saw the first season. And I'm like, okay, I can't find them in Walmart. Maybe I should try GameStop. Usually GameStop has like the DC Primal.
Yeah, those are only available like on online and like online specialty stores and Super 7's website, but it's no longer available on Super 7's website because they're only a pre-order company technically, not so much you could buy it, but you can't buy it directly. You have to get it on pre-order.
Then you're stuck getting stuff from like Big Bad Toy Store at 30% the cost.
And with Super 7, it really depends if you get a good figure or not, because isn't Super 7's quality control really mixed?
Yeah, they've been really faulty. Yeah.
Ugh. It's bad.
Like, I've seen horror stories, and like, how they've been treating Thundercats. I'm like, what? Like, I'm not sure.
You mean how there's no Thundercats?
Yeah, like, yep. I'm not sure how you guys feel, but I hate the Thundercats Classics figures because they used the Master Universe buff, which that's fine.
I didn't mind that personally because
the problem is the character selection's like nothing.
That's the problem. I was fine with it because they improved the He-Man bucks. They added wrist joints. They added
not to mention
ankles,
a lot of people are actually happy that both of the characters, like the both lines, are actually coinciding within the same line. That's something that people have been asking for years.
For me, with my 5 Thundercats figures, they can actually go hang out in Castle Grayskull with the Motu stuff, and so I'm okay with that. Like, I'm good. Like, and again, the character selection was supposed to be good, but then it got axed because Mattel sucks.
I think what was it? The reason why they was it Lionel Primera was the first Primera, and the reason why they did that because Mattel guessed you had the Bandai like Tigra and Mama. Is that why they did that?
No, they did that because they wanted to start off and show that they weren't just going to do the main cast like everyone always does. They were like, look, we're making Primera. That's a second-generation Thundercat. Look, we're making, Jackalman, because no one's ever made that before. They were trying to, like... It was because they had to do the subscription thing, they wanted to make sure that people knew that they were committed to doing more than just the base cast. The problem was that Matty Collector got closed out from under them because Mattel Corporate said, no more Matty Collector.
And, and then my major, I guess my major, I think it's how I anime, but Mattel with the company in general, I feel like they're not really good at adapting art styles into figures.
Yeah, definitely not, because they try sometimes. Like, there's the Rebirth Batman from Multiverse. It's like, oh look, it's supposed to be Greg Capullo art, and it's like, okay, well he only drew Rebirth Batsuit one time.
I have the Harley Quinn, like, I'm not a fan of Rebirth Harley Quinn designs. I think I'm never been a fan of like the modern Harley Quinn designs. But like I feel like out of all of them, the Rebirth ones decent. The figure, like, it's so off about the figure. Maybe because it's like. It's my main problem with the Marvel Legends Gwenpool figure, because the comic, I'm gonna screw up the name. The comic is done by Yu Hiru, who also draws on Unstoppable Wasp, and I love the designs but when Marvel has released that Gwenpool figure, it's based off the design they used for like I think the first show in Howard the Duck.
I think what they did was they wanted, because Marvel Legends has its own consistent like aesthetic for like its line, it's so like it always adapts characters to that aesthetic while taking costume elements from different specific artists. Like, yeah, they're making Jim Lee X-Men, but they're also in the Marvel Legends aesthetic, which is what I appreciate that because it makes it look consistent on shelf.
It's kind of like an evergreen-ish style, I guess.
Yeah. Because like when you look down, when you look at the details of it, it's like you kind of get that evergreen, but then it's like you can have classic Thor next to a modern Iron Man, but they'll still have the same design aesthetic overall.
Yeah, like
I appreciate that because that kind of like it lets the shelf be like its own art style in a way.
Yeah, I haven't collected Marvel Legends. I don't really only have 2 Marvel Legends really. Just Spider-Man Scout Spider. Like I want to get that new Captain America, that 80th anniversary Captain America. That is my perfect Captain America.
That Captain America, that Iron Man, and that Thor is like what I've been asking for years from Hasbro.
I wish Hulk wasn't part of a 2-pack. Because I don't like that Wolverine figure they're releasing because it has the eyes.
Yeah, nobody really likes that Wolverine
That's everyone's
figure.
problem but mine. I'm the only one that's like, yeah, give me that Wolverine, because that's just like I'm a Wolverine fan.
No, here's the problem that I have with that figure. He has his eyes exposed, which is like the eyes exposed for some reason.
That's the first appearance costume. Because that's what the 2-pack's based on. It's based on Incredible Hulk number 181, where Wolverine had that mask for one issue.
I think I would rather have is like one head with one eyes exposed and one head with the white eyes. It's the same mask.
What I was kind of hoping for was that there would be an extra head that was the giant size X-Men head, because he had the same costume, it's just a different mask.
Is that the one? I always forget. Is that the Wolverine with the crazy boots and chops?
The giant size one is the one. He's got like the black over his. He's got like the black parts over his eyes instead of being like more of an ear look. It's got the ear look. It's kind of complicated. Just Google search giant size X-Men number 1.
Okay.
You can see it on the cover.
Next match is the last one. I'm getting kind of really exhausted.
I know how to wear Darkon out.
Speaking of collector's lines, I know this. I would say this Bandai America's been really improving a lot of the Dragon Star figures.
They have been getting better.
The Switch they had better. They're even doing better with distribution, which is really bizarre because of how weird it was at the beginning.
Yeah, because
I'm really happy with that line, honestly. Like right now, I'm not buying as much because I have some figure arts that instead of the ones they're releasing, but they scale with figure arts. It's nice. It's like you can get characters to go with them.
I remember I was at GameStop pre-ordering Spider-Man PS4. I was walking out the door after I pre-ordered, and I look in my right, and I see a new Dragon Star label, which I never heard about. Like it was the Broly wave. I'm like, wait, what? It was the whole wave. I'm like,
oh yeah, the Broly wave with the with a lot of the base forms.
Yeah, I'm like, whoa, where did this came from? And
yeah,
and then
I ended up skipping that because I had to adjust my Dragon Stars collecting to one form per character. Just because it was so much.
I think the next wave's going to be better. The one that has whatever it is. We don't even know what the Build-A-Figures of that one.
I don't think there is a Build-A-Figure because the current set doesn't have a Build-A-Figure.
Are you talking about the wave with Android 17, Piccolo, Frieza, and Super Saiyan 4 Goku?
Oh no, I'm talking about the one that has like Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan Gogeta, Movie Broly, and others. That wave's not out yet.
Movie Broly might be a Build-A-Figure that way.
He's a single packed. I was looking into it. There was a listing. Yeah, they're single packing Movie Broly. Because they're not doing Build-A-Figures for the next one either.
Yeah, I think they're just stopping Build-A-Figures because I think my guess is Bandai learned their lesson at their legacy line and they stopped doing Build-A-Figures because they know there's
also not like other Build-A-Figures to do for Dragon Ball besides like maybe Movie Broly. Like there's not that many big characters. And it's like, yeah, maybe Android 16, but like would Android 16 sell 6 figures to people? That's a question.
No.
I have the 16 figure art, and the 16 figure art didn't sell that well.
16. I love 16. One of my favorite figures, but not at the Build-A-Figure.
Yeah, if he was I think he'll probably make him as a single pack because they've made 17 and 18 now. But yeah.
Yeah, like I want to at least pick up the Ultimate Gohan since I love Ultimate Gohan. I feel like the biggest I don't hate Bandai America as other people do, because I kind of feel like they're definitely a much smaller company compared to Hasbro or Mattel.
I think my biggest problem with Bandai of America is they went from caring heavily to just not putting any like effort into their products and
I feel like the biggest, my guess, this is my like tinfoil hat theory, is there must be a budget cut. There has to be a budget cut.
Because the thing was that like they had their biggest sales year ever, which was Supercharge, and then they followed up with Ninja Steel with product that didn't sell because it didn't have the quality that Supercharge had. They followed up their biggest sales year with basically nothing. Like they had the mentality of we're too big to fail. Why should we bother with trying to push the envelope?
Was that the same year Greg left?
Yes, he was in charge of everything up till Supercharge, and he left a roadmap for Ninja Steel Legacy, and then they did whatever they did after that. He said that things didn't go according to he left a plan behind, which they don't have to take. Of course, they don't have to listen to what he said, but he left them a roadmap, and they didn't really follow a roadmap, it seems.
But I think people give Bandai Namco a lot too much harshness because I feel like there is people that actually do care about the fandom in that company, but I think it's just the higher ups that's like, oh, we don't have the budget to put gold paint on Legacy Gold, scrap it.
But the thing is that was always like the thing is like, oh, we don't have the budget to put gold paint on Legacy Gold, but then they do. There was always like, for everything they said they couldn't do, they did on something else, right? Like we can't put gold paint on Legacy Gold Ranger, but look at our Golden Frieza who's covered in it, you know? Like that was always the double standard, right?
Well, I'm assuming that the Dragon Ball team is a separate team.
Oh, it is absolutely. Most toy companies don't have the same people working on the same brand, but I don't think it was a money thing. I think it was a they think that I very much think it came down to they looked at the fandom and how the fandom would just custom paint anything they put out that had less paint, and figured, oh, that's what everyone does. And then they could get away with just selling things with less paint that way.
Well, Megazords, I'm fine with because that's every toy company. Especially, but like, I think I've seen some long toys and Chicken Shinobi talk about it. They theorize maybe Toei getting Bandai Namco more money or something like that. Like it's just really weird with terms of like.
Dragon Ball's also Toei.
Yeah, Toei also made Toei get them money. Yeah, totally. Yeah, it's like one of those like.
It's complicated. We'll never really know. And the fact of the matter is that they weren't treating Power Rangers with the proper respect, which is why Saban didn't offer them the license again. Because
I think
if they had kept up the same quality from Supercharge, I think we would still have Bandai Power Ranger stuff. But as a license holder, I think Saban Brands looked at Super Ninja Steel and looked like, why didn't the toys sell? Okay, it looks like they had a drop in quality. They probably looked into it and
maybe. I think maybe some for Saban, I think it's more that sees low sales and like X because
Saban was like, oh, our company didn't turn our production company didn't turn a profit. Time to sell to Disney. Like that's usually how his attitude is.
Yeah, because I don't
forget the infamous Legacy incident in Soundout.
Which one?
Oh, that one. You should tell that story.
Yeah. Okay, so I might be one of the few people that know this story because one of my friends was working at Toy Fair during the Bandai thing. He was one of their volunteers that Bandai asked to come set up stuff. And the original first wave of Legacy figures that shouldn't have been put up on the internet where people were getting...
Ninja Storm and Mighty Morphin Green and Red?
Yeah, there was an entire there was supposed to be like an entire press blackout on that entire wave, like when those figures were first put up on, display at Toy Fair. Like you couldn't take any pictures, you couldn't talk about them. And my friend who was a volunteer asked me to find anyone who illegally leaked the items up on the internet and, send it to him so Bandai could, cease and desist them. And
I always question why they did that because, like, don't you want...
No, there's a reason why. There's a specific reason why. Because the original molds were tacky, incredibly terrible, and two of the figures the prototypes were so cheap. So cheap. Like, these were supposed to be first-round prototypes of, like, what the figure would be in hand. The first-round prototypes themselves, not like a resin prototype, broke, and they had to, like, glue some of them to glue them back together again, so they would look at least somewhat presentable at the show. And Saban was never happy with the Legacy designs from the start.
Well, like, here's the thing. Out of all the more muscle definition Power Ranger stuff, I think the Legacy line has one of the better ones because it's not. I never have a problem with the action hero mold because that's game for kids. They like superhero bucks. But compared to say the Armor Might line from Megaforce onwards, is that what's called? That was tame compared to those figures. So really what's the prototype? Like those figures were they like super muscly or like?
Don't forget,
no, it's just because they were fragile. They weren't like up to pretty much standards. And
it was just the structure. It was just the internal structure was not good.
Yeah, no, like don't forget too, Saban and the original production team behind Power Rangers wanted Power Rangers to be like very comic booky in presentation for their toys and action figures.
Well, when
Like
it came out in the
American
90s,
Heroes.
that was the aesthetic. Large muscles was
Yeah.
the thing.
They wanted to be
Yeah, the Rob
very-
Liefeld.
Also, something that wasn't supposed to be known in general was shown, and that's the Build-A-Figure Megazords. No one was supposed to know that at the time.
Yeah, we weren't supposed to know about the Build-A-Figures Megazords either, and that's another thing. Like, all I know is that how Saban acted at Toy Fair, since he was there in person, and other instances, is like he tried to be very hands-on. He was very selective. He thought like if you made stuff cheap, it would still sell. He dictated a lot at Bandai, and then Bandai went with that mental aesthetic of, well, if this is what Saban wants, then we can get away with it. Kind of aspect.
Another question I always have is, how does Saban give the budget to Bandai or what? I always question that.
It's a bit of both, because he has to put in an X amount of money towards his license, and they already have the master license too, so it's one of those, like, who owns the full majority? Like, they could still make what they want, but when they bring in the prototypes into his office to sign off on, he could be like, oh, this looks too much, parents aren't going to want to pay for this.
Like, essentially,
Another
the
thing is
licensor
that-
always has the final approval.
Yeah. Another thing is that when you really think about it, if they showed it like SDCC and everything, all that'd be kind of ridiculous because that's like a little bit slightly more publicized because you can go in like presses and everything and all that. And because it's Toy Fair, even though people do get a chance to go in there, it's mostly for the investors. So if they say you can't show this because it's at Toy Fair, because it's mostly for the investors, then it's really up to the original guys that are like owning like whatever's being shown and everything, all that too. It's their decision if they're not allowed to show it to like the public. The reason why it was bad is because that got leaked, because that wasn't supposed to be shown publicly. That's the problem.
Because they basically weren't ready and they weren't approved. They hadn't been approved yet. They hadn't had final approval yet for public showing.
Yeah, that reminds me
Don't forget how Saban threw a hissy fit 7 times until they got the Ninja Steel boxes the way he wanted it.
Ninja Steel Season 1 or Super Ninja Steel?
No, it's just the Ninja Steel boxes in general. Like, he threw like a hissy fit because like
Wait,
they went
really?
through they went through 7 or 9 different versions of the box art until he signed off on it, like the logos and stuff.
That's like a sound now, like you know, Ryan, you need to make sure this part of the graphic looks like this. It's like, no, you fix that. Like, it's like
I'm not that
like-
picky. I'm not Saban
Yeah, no,
picky.
like Saban, like with me and Soundout, we're usually done within 5 tries. Saban was like 10. He was like twice what we usually are.
I mean, I guess in the grand scheme of things is, even though obviously, cut that stuff. Okay. No, the reason why is because for both Will and Soundup, for example, here, they're just making really content for like the YouTube channel and everything and that. So it's like whatever really goes and all that. This is gonna be like mass marketing and everything and all that. So they need to do a little bit more work for it because it's gonna be seen in retail stores and other things. So that's why it's obviously gonna be more pushed in general.
Yeah, like.
And the fact of the matter is, like, there are times at Toy Fair that stuff is shown that isn't supposed to be public. I know Pixel Dan had to take down and re-edit his Jurassic World video from this year's Toy Fair because Mattel said, "Oh, you had something in there that's not supposed to be known yet."
I kind of show how bad the quality of Mattel is because they allow people to take pictures of that multiverse Batman prototype, and that prototype sucks.
Oh yeah, and the thing is, we may never see what the final production version of that Batman is.
But you saw how when it uses chip on that figures?
Yeah.
Like.
No, there's some janky stuff that happens with Mattel prototypes. They don't care. It shows how little Mattel cares because, like, here's the thing: the designers, the sculptors, I think absolutely care about this stuff because they're on Instagram, they're on Twitter. They're awesome. It's the Mattel corporate people that just don't care because they didn't bother to show anything significant at Toy Fair in their last year of having DC. And then it's also like on top of that,
not to mention they fired up their big
they fired
creators.
their packaging designer that just got upgraded to a figure designer. Dude was making the best DC figures we had ever seen, and they fired him.
Do the 4 Horsemen still work for Mattel?
They still do,
Nope,
yes.
they got moved to Super 7.
No, the 4 Horsemen still work.
They still work for Mattel, but their main force got mostly moved to Super 7.
Basically, the 4 Horsemen still work on the comic stuff, but the movie stuff is done Mattel in-house.
Maybe that's why the face sculpts on like the actors are really bad because
it's not like anybody that's that great. But the thing is that What was it? There was the guy that sculpted Dr. Savannah for Multiverse was on Instagram, and he was saying that the figure didn't get painted right. Because he was saying,
really?
like, he showed a sculpt, and he like, here's my gray sculpt, and it looks, like, spot on. And, like, the Dr. Savannah figure has, like, a really good likeness, honestly, but he was like, yeah, the paint wasn't...
Well, I forget, question.
The paint was too soft.
He has 2 heads, right? He has 2 heads, right? One with glasses, one without glasses.
Right,
one
yeah.
without it.
Yeah, and so the thing is that, like, what happened was that apparently the paint wasn't applied correctly, or it wasn't enough paint, or whatever, because they don't do face print. They don't do the face print style stuff that they do at Hasbro, or, like, Mattel doesn't do that. But the thing is that a lot of the sculpting work and a lot of the other stuff is like, oh, you find, like, prototypes, or you find the gray renders. It's like, this stuff looks better. It's just the production process at Mattel was what essentially screwed it up. Because, like, one of the most infamous things was, like, Huntress had a huge crossbow from the Signature Collection figure. But if you look at the original Gray Proto, she was supposed to have the proper size. They just blew it up for whatever reason. I think they said, like, oh, it's a safety concern. I'm like, it's an online exclusive. What safety concern?
That's the collector's line. Collector's line.
Same thing happened with a similar situation with Catra from Master Universe line, because they gave her gummy hands. It's like, oh, it's for a cause of safety concerns. Once again, that's I know kids can play with it, but that's still a collector's figure. Why did she need to have the gummy hands?
What it seems like,
has the gummy hands.
What it seemed like to me was that Matty Collector was always developed as, like, Mattel's online division, but Mattel Corporate was just like, online, that means selling the same stuff. And so
I'm really hoping Hasbro doesn't do that with either Marvel Legends or Lightning Collection. I'm really hoping.
Oh yeah, Hasbro's been pretty okay with exclusives. I think they need to stop giving Walmart exclusives.
Unless you're the RAF set, because I heard the RAF set's not that good. Or people tell me it's not that great.
It depends,
yeah.
Because, like, a lot of their Comic-Con sets for Marvel Legends are like 5-packs, and it's like repaints plus.
Mostly the problem with
the
collector stuff is this is something that's been happening ever since kind of some of the earlier stuff. It's a lot of the Marvel Legends that come in the sets. I mean, it's fine for us because we don't usually go to the cons and get the exclusives, but they usually end up repainting or slightly retooling it for the retail release of things. There are a couple of characters who have not gotten any versions outside of the boxes, but there are others that get made again for either a full-up figure in the sense of
like some are either reissues or highlights of figures to come in the next couple of waves.
Yeah, like who was the X-Men Walgreens exclusive Soundout? It was, I forget her name.
Mystique?
No, not Mystique. The blonde, the girl with blonde hair. Yeah, Magic. That was a Comic-Con, right? That was a Dr.
Yeah, she used to be part of the Book of Ashanti set.
Yeah.
I'm hoping
That's who I forgot to use against Dark on Cell.
I'm hoping Hasbro doesn't do that for the Lightning Collection. Like, make like Solar Rangers only exclusive, or Hyperforce Rangers only exclusive, like Comic-Con or something like that.
I think we're gonna get something exclusive to Comic-Con. Power Rangers does have this great advantage of alternate forms too.
Yeah, like we could probably have like a Gold Ranger shield like we always have.
Like, yeah, Red Ranger Dragon Shield might be a Comic-Con exclusive.
Yeah. Or you go really weird and make Black Ranger Dragon Shield.
Yeah, that could be something too.
I can imagine.
Or they go even crazy and make Pink Ranger Dragon Shield.
Oh my God, yes.
Or what was the Boom issue? The Boom issue where they're all green, where they're all the green color.
Oh, it was Psycho Green.
No, the all green when they had the
all green. Yeah, that's right.
They could do that as a set. I don't think we're going to get a Comic-Con exclusive
this year.
I think
Psycho Green's going to be one too.
Hey guys, or they can make the gift set that no one's going to buy because no one likes it. The Solar Rangers.
They could do the Solar Rangers.
I like the
costumes.
People like the costumes. People just don't like the storyline.
That's why it would make a great Comic-Con exclusive.
The Solar Ranger was written so poorly. She's got like literally nothing. It's terrible.
Yeah, keep the spoilers. I haven't got to that part.
We're not spoiling it. We're just vaguely explaining that it's too wordy. And
the problem is that for how many words are in that comic, Solar Ranger should be much more developed.
Yeah, she's got like nothing still, and that's ridiculous. Especially since we're about to get out of the arc, so wow.
And don't forget, her arch enemy is just nothing more than Ultimate Bellio wannabe.
Speaking of Lightning Collection, am I the only one that feels that Shadow Ranger's the weakest figure of the way? Because I have a lot of issues.
I will tend to agree with that, to be honest.
In terms of construction, yeah. In terms of look, I really like the design, but in terms of construction, yeah, I think it is kind of the poor one.
I have mixed feelings on this figure, my guys. My first like collector figure, I have so many mixed feelings. Like, not just because he's missing paint, which does annoy me, but like,
but it's also like, it's missing paint within a reasonable amount of like, look, they got every other detail except for these two shoulders. And it's like, you know, that's not really that big of a deal.
I think my biggest nitpick is the missing red on his cuffs. That's my biggest gripe.
I mean, yeah, I think it's just like it gets down to like it's too small of a detail.
Yeah, but the biggest problem is the one they could have avoided, and that's the backwards damn warper, but that's about us.
Oh no, my biggest issue is the chest armor. I don't understand why I have to make this a separate piece. Which the costume,
it's a separate piece, so it doesn't restrict articulation.
I'm sure because I look at the design.
It's the butterfly shoulders.
Yeah.
Because of the shoulders moving in, like if that armor didn't flex or be its own piece, it would cause it to be.
I guess, but the problem I have is the butterfly joint on this figure is not that great, especially compared to like Pizza Spider-Man. Butterfly joint.
Pizza Spider-Man, I've never had good butterfly shoulders with that one. That one was like my most effective butterfly shoulders I've ever had.
I have the what's it called? The vintage release? Is that what the line called? The vintage.
Yeah, the vintage style.
Yeah, the vintage one.
I think my favorite,
so much.
My favorite Marvel Legends body is still the Sunfire body, like the one they used on PS4,
like
Spider-Man, and a few others.
Like a lot of the new butterfly shoulders are so much stronger than the original Pizza Spider.
Yeah, but like, they didn't do I'm not sure. Soundout, you have all figures. Do they all share the same shoulder joint? The armpit butterfly joint? Do they all share the same?
No, all four of them are unique molds, but they have a similar style. They all have the same articulation, but they're all different molds.
Yeah,
Shadows is a bit different because of the armor.
Yeah, you say that about how it hinders the butterfly joint, but really, the only thing he could do is just go out, which there's not that much poses he can do. Most poses that Shadow Ranger did in the show that allows, like, has his arm to go, like, all the way back. Like,
I think the trick is that they wanted to have it so you could hold the sword with two hands.
I guess, but, like, it doesn't come in that much, and, like, since it's a separate piece, it makes the shoulders much lower than it should be, which that really bothers me.
Oh no, the shoulders are just constructed too low. That's what that is. It's not the actual armor.
Also, why are his leg pieces a separate piece?
That's so that you can adjust. Yeah, there were separate pieces in the show, but the thing is, you can't get as much. Like it's like if you're going for a pose that requires the knee to be bent more, you need them to slide down. If you're going for an ankle tilt pose, you need to slide up. Like,
I guess, but I think the biggest problem I have with my figure, I'm not sure it's my figure, but it's very loose on my figure.
That could just like a general QC thing. There's Marvel Legends figures that just have like the weirdest, like they have like the weirdest like add-on pieces. Like I always use the example of the Warlock Wave Cyclops because he just has these like 4 straps that just like to fall down all the time. And with there's like no reason for them to be separate pieces. They should just be glued.
Or let's not forget.
You go, Wilder.
No, I was gonna say, let's not forget the infamous original, Spider-Man 2099, where he's like so like slim and slender, his body actually just like collapses in on itself.
Yeah, that's an issue with a lot of older Marvel Legends. They're like they warp themselves, especially Spider-Man.
I'm hoping they make a new like blue costume 99.
They should make it off the Sunfire body, because holy crap, that mold's
well,
great.
Would that be
to be honest, the one they should make is the one with the skull.
Yeah, the new 2099's body, but just in the original costume.
Yeah.
They should at this point, I'd rather them see the one with the cloak later, though.
Do you guys know that Shadow Ranger has a boot cuff swivel? Because I didn't. You guys know he has a boot cuff swivel? Because he does.
He does, yeah. It's because of the covers, you can't see it. But they also they painted the stripe all the way down the leg. Like I twisted the cover a little bit too much, and yeah, they painted it all the way down. They didn't need to. It probably was easier for manufacturing or something like that.
I guess, but like since you couldn't see that, you can't. The only way you can see that is you actually do lift the leg guard all the way up. I question why they paint that, because you could save that paint job on like the little smaller details.
It might have
like,
been just
yeah.
because it was running down the whole leg that it was easy to do.
Maybe.
Because
But
Hasbro
then
is
again,
like
why didn't-
Hasbro's pretty customizer friendly because a lot of the Marvel Legends use the same head socket size. A lot of them have like the add-on parts or slide off, so you can use them for whatever.
Well, yeah, but like it's weird because they didn't paint the area underneath the chest armor.
That's true. I
Well,
don't.
it doesn't really matter at that point because you're gonna get
At the same
chest
time,
armor,
like
it's not
what even is under that armor? We never really see it in the show, so.
Yeah, it's just like I'm very misunderstood because I want the head because I love Doggy Figure.
The other bigger problem about the figure is that it comes with mixed match hands. There's no consistent
Oh, I
pairing
hate
of
that. I
hands.
hate that.
That's like that on all 4 figures.
Oh no, I know that's a problem with all 4 figures, but
it's
specifically
not-
with Doggy
it-
Figure, where he needs to hold the sword both hands. He can barely do it with the other hand he has.
That's like the thing is that like there's several dual-purpose hands, but I think the one that's worsted is Dino Charge Red because you don't have options for the weapons. It's either you hold. It's pretty much just gun in right hand and sword in left hand, and you can't really
At least
alternate
in that case, that's so accurate, isn't it?
For the most part, yeah, but there are times he uses the sword in the right hand and you just can't hold it with the hand he's got.
If I have another little nitpick I have with the Fighting Sports figures, I kind of wish that these Simone faces had more than just a merc facial expression. Because
Yeah,
like,
and
the Paul
Yeah.
Like
the Paul
yeah,
Rudd head proves that they can do facial expression with the scans analogy. So why does Tyler look like a look so bored?
because
or,
plain and simple, neutral expression is much easier to capture
Yeah,
for
I
sculpting
guess.
and painting. And the
Yeah,
thing
I
is
guess,
that
but,
that's what
like-
they've talked about before, because like people ask that about Star
But
Wars
do you know what they
figures
could do
too.
for con exclusives?
Alternate heads.
Oh no, yeah, that. But I'm talking specifically for particular rangers, depending on the
I
scenes.
swear to God, if he
broken
says
helmet.
shirtless, I was gonna say if he said shirtless Rangers, I'm gonna slap Dark on.
I was saying broken helmets.
Yeah,
No,
we
battle
talked
damage
about that before about actually
Well,
doing battle damage.
No. And for me,
Multiplex.
I think this will make. I want to share what people feel about it if this was a concept, but what I personally want for alternate heads, or the Mighty Morphin scene especially, comic heads, because like heads that look like the Boom comics.
They could do something
Okay.
similar to what they did with the Star Wars Rebels and Clone Wars characters in Black Series, where they're styled after the animation, but they have a realistic twist to them so that they fit in the collection.
Yeah, because
Another
none of the
thing
people,
is, we're probably gonna end up seeing like maybe an exclusive set, maybe not a con exclusive because that'd be stupid, but exclusive set somewhere, maybe like a Hasbro Pulse exclusive and all that, maybe like the other version. So for example, you got the original MPR, and then we got like the Tanya and the other two, you know,
Like the
versions,
replacement
'cause those are
Rangers.
two versions. Yeah, the
I
replacement
still,
versions.
I'm still kind of wondering because like we're gonna get MMPR Pink in Wave 2, hopefully. I'm kind of got my fingers crossed that we're gonna get 2 alternate heads with her.
and
I
then,
doubt it because
and
we
then,
haven't really done that like at all in any.
Well,
of
we
them,
don't know
so-
because there's
Yeah,
we
well-
haven't had a Ranger that's had 2 that would need 2
Yeah,
alternate
like there's
heads.
Mighty Morphin, like red, blue, red, yellow, black, pink, and then there's Lost Galaxy pink, and then there's SPD red where there's 3.
No, with SPD, they're just gonna use Jack. They're not.
Yeah,
gonna
they're gonna use
It's
Jack.
very possible what's going to
Turbo.
happen is, what I think is really going to happen is that instead of having like that many alternate heads, they're probably going to end up having like a second version of the weapon that combines.
No,
That could be an
They
option.
could do that, but I don't. I hope they don't go full on Bandai. Like, I hope they don't go full on Bandai.
That's the one thing that's been a major problem when it comes to like the Ranger toys in general, where here's all the combining weapons, but the way that they combine is so hard to implement in figure form. Nobody did like super correctly.
Here's the thing,
Well,
because
no,
of the
no, no,
mask
it's pretty well,
changing,
but
because
they
Toei
had to
doesn't
use that
do
for
anything
fun.
logically.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, I am attempting to draw a comic of this Poppy going in. I got Poppy cap and cap or something like that. I try again. Trying to draw that.
That Poppy review was... I don't even know what I did during that video, but it turned out to be
Oh yeah,
golden.
so I still rather take somewhat loose joints that they can fix than figures that friggin' explode on you.
Wait, what happened, Dark Time? Question I asked.
Stupid Iron Man pissed me off today, right?
Which one?
Okay, so there was an Iron Man that was released during the
Iron Man 3.
the Iron Man 3 line, which is the Build-A-Figure Ironmonger. It was actually one of my favorite Iron Man suit designs, but that figure decided to explode on me due to DPS.
Oh,
Basically, it's the Return of Marvel Legends boxes, because that's what they were doing at the time. It's the, if I remember correctly, it's the Bleeding Edge armor. Which
Is that
really
the
bad,
one-
I really like that one.
quick Dark, is that the one that was in Ultimate Alliance 2? Is that the armor design? You think
I don't know because I actually never played the Ultimate Alliance.
It's the one. It's the one that has the. I had that. I'm not sure the same figure, but it's the one with the triangle arc reactor. And,
oh no, it doesn't have. It's not a triangle. It's still a circle.
Oh, is that the more classic looking? Is that the one where it has no shoulder pads?
Oh yeah, that one doesn't have shoulder pads. That was one of the later on. That was like one of the modern armors at the time of its release. Now,
it's kind of got more of like a circular design to everything. There's a lot of
I know the one
is that the way that the hips are working, and it seems like a lot of people's copies had a very similar issue I'm seeing online. The legs had a problem with tendency to not like be molded correctly, so because of that the legs are like splayed out like as if you're doing the splits almost. Mine is so bad that it can literally like it's like as if he's about ready to take a dump. Like that's how bad far spread out the legs and it can't go any closer, and that's annoying. So every time I try pulling it together over the years, it looks like, and on top of like the heating conditions, etc., and everything and all that, and the color of the plastic, it stretched it over the years, and a couple days ago it decided to explode on me, and the entire leg snapped off. I was able to glue it back on, but yeah, it snapped into like 3 pieces. So.
Speaking of like loose joint question soundouts, when you do the figure comparison for like Lightning Collection and like the Beast Wars 6-inch figure, how many takes it took to have Draken stand?
Surprisingly, just 1 take on each video because Draken is so friggin' loose, but the ankles on mine aren't loose, so I can just plop him down and he's fine.
Yeah, most Draken's loose joints are his actual abdomen.
Did we ever got the what happened to that? Like, did we ever got like what's the story? What happened to those figures?
No, the only story. No, the only story you should assume is that they really didn't give a damn. They were almost done with their contract and were just like, "There you go."
They're like, "We already got the money in advance."
The biggest question I had with the World Dragon figure, when was that figure in production? Because was that after Cycle Red, Cycle Blue, and White Diamond? I
think it was before. Yeah, because it came out before. But I feel like it might have been the same production batch even.
That's my question, because from what I've seen, the Legacy White Drago and the Cycles, they have at least alright ad crunches. So like, I question what happened with the Dragon figure exactly. That like, cause doesn't it use the is it the same body as the White Ranger? Is it?
Yeah, it is. It's like modified, so, like, but yeah, it's pretty close.
Like my only guess what happened is mold decoration. Am I sure?
No, because like the thing is that it's the only figure that's that loose. You know, out of all of them, it's the only one that's that loose, and it was also the one that everyone paid up front for. But then it was also poorly handled by Morphicon because they like sold too many at the convention and like had this whole issue of, oh no, we don't have enough stock for the away orders, but then it's like, oh no, we do because we found more cases. It's like the whole Draken situation was a disaster.
How was that Morphicon, I ask? From what I see, I feel like that Morphicon was probably one of the weakest ones.
This guy didn't watch our episode of Los Angeles with an Oblate States episode.
Oh yeah, is that on the separate channel? I'm assuming.
It's on Hero Club.
It's on the Hero Club.
Okay, that's why. Okay, yeah. Can you tell the story here so like your channel has it? Cause I'm curious. Like, not just the Dragon situation, but like I've seen like Shooting Shinobi stuff, MMPR toys,
Line
stuff, and like not that one, but like and like some posts on Twitter.
Lines.
Is it like what happened exactly on Morphicon?
Oh my god. Soundout, should I just do the rundown? Do
the rundown. Let's just do it. I'll fill in details as we go on how we fought security guards.
All right. Give me 1 minute. Just give me 1 minute. Hey, Metal.
What? You just said, "Hey, Metal." I think he's probably on Skype still with Metal.
Wait, you security guards?
Okay, so, what I wanted to do, I told Metal I was taking off my headset, so he'll hear me, but I won't hear him react. So, okay, so I can do this whole story. I wanted to have both head pieces of the PSN on, so I could hear clearly. Okay, so this is how the story goes down, and this is where it gets great. So it says that if you're handicapped, even if you're not VIP'd or whatever, you're going to be let in immediately, and you're going to get your badges and pickups. The day before, they went on this special outing to do a filming shoot, and those guys were supposed to be in there first, with the disabled people, then the VIPs to get their bags first. They were so behind that when we got in there, they were slowly trying to rush us through. The area where we were to get our press badges, we had to stand there, I think, for 15 minutes just to get our press badges. Then we went out. We went back to Soundout's room to chill. And as we were sitting there, we found out that people who were members of the press that were given, you know, exonerary, like, kind of, oh, you guys are guests here, like, what is it, no pink spandex and lay douche of Power Rangers Now were in there. But because they were in there as guests, they started...
I would say this. I'm glad I'm not the only one that has issues with Power Rangers Now, because...
Oh my god,
And
I've had more issues ever since this Morphicon.
So anyways, because he's a guest, that technically means his right as press should be revoked. And he starts taking these like photos of stuff at like the toy booths that are not supposed to be shown yet. Yeah, like Soldier Goku and Titanus. Like an hour before the door even opens to anyone of press and anyone of VIP. So we go down there and we discuss with the guys at the front desk that, yo, hey, this guy's doing something that's technically probably against convention NDA. This is against journalistic integrity. And so they're like, you know what? F it. You guys can go in, and we'll try to see on their contact sheets to tell the other members of press to go in because some guy ruined it for everyone. So we go down there. And because the guest badges and the vendor badges and the actual press badges are all one and the same, they were like, oh, you can't come in here. We're like, well, we're allowed in here now. They're like, oh, you got to be a vendor. We're like, well, we got the same badges though. No, you got to be a vendor. Where's your stuff for your table? So they wouldn't let us in at first. And then Catherine Sutherland, who's an actor, is like, they're allowed to be in here. What do you mean? They have this badge. I'm like, oh, we thought you had to be like carrying props and tables to be allowed in. And she's like, no, I'm an actress, so... Everyone got brought in.
One actress also?
Yeah, they gave Catherine Sutherland a hassle too because she didn't look like she was moving like merchandise into the room. So they gave her a slight hassle. So they let us in finally. And then once we get in, it's pretty much good for Friday because most of the big panels are Saturday. So our Friday was pretty laxed. Saturday though, we go to like the big toy and the
Hasbro
big,
and the
Hasbro,
Beast Morph and the Ninja Steel stuff.
Dino Charge / Ninja Steel / Beast Morphers panel. And when we go to there, they are like, all right, everyone with the VIPs over here, everyone with the press over here. And then they're like, oh, you know what? We only have a certain amount of number full of people with disabilities and VIPs that are supposed to go in first. They have priority. And I'm like, well, there's also the priority of that there's supposed to be enough room for press. Well, we might not have enough room. And I said, in your actual thing, when you buy your ticket, when you get your thing for press, it says there will be mandatory room for there. And I go, you're in other double jeopardy because we weren't just press that got in for free. We are paying guests.
Oh, yeah, no, there's the other side of the story that I gotta tell.
An entire argument, which then led to Soundout probably get into a fist fight with Decade, who at the time he didn't know was Decade from Ranger Board.
Oh no, I just saw it as the lady that was telling me they didn't have enough press seats for the press badges they gave out, and I was like, that is crap. You do not give out press badges and not have enough press seats.
So wait, so I'm trying to understand it. So you're super. All you are press for Hero Club. Well, you still have to pay because airplane ticket, yada yada. But like,
well, the thing was that
no. We also
here's
paid
the thing.
as regular guests if we didn't
to get into the con.
Yeah.
So
yes, Darth Kamen, who's listening in the chat, Decade from Ranger Board. So here's the thing: is that this is what the way it broke down is that we got press badges, but we didn't get free access to the convention because press registration didn't open till after badge registration closed. So we already bought our tickets, and then we were trying to get, and we applied for press afterwards. So the fact of the matter is that what Decade, I'll call her out on this. She was trying to. Decade
were the
started
first people to
threatening
apply for
us.
Okay, okay. I'm not. I don't know a lot of people from Ranger Board. Can you explain who she is? May I ask?
Okay, Decade is the owner of Ranger Board, if I recall. I think she actually
Yeah.
owns.
She is
the-
one of them.
the site
I'm not
now.
sure she's the main one, but she's one of them.
But she was also working staff and security there, and she was like getting really like
She was threatening us,
viciously,
saying that we had no
volatile.
right. She was threatening us to say that we had no right to demand that we have press access because we didn't pay for a badge to be there. She's like, we have to have space for the people that actually paid to get here. Those were her exact words, and I was like, no, I paid. Look, I have two badges. I have my press badge and I have my paid for badge. You do not get to tell me I didn't pay to come to this convention because your organization didn't let press get, access to badges before then.
Also, Soundout's best argument was he's also physically disabled, so this is double jeopardy.
Like, so, like, so what? I appreciate more to tell, but like, so Power Rangers Now, the guy who owns Power Rangers Now, took pictures that he wasn't allowed to took yet, right? That's what I'm understanding.
Well, what it was is he took pictures.
That was our safe assumption.
He took pictures, but he started posting them to Twitter.
Yeah.
Well, not that he was not allowed to do that, right?
Right, because we were told
usually,
that you can't post pictures until the convention floor opens. So like, it was like an hour before he was posting pictures, and so that's why we went down there and like, okay, well, if he's in there posting pictures as a press person, and guests weren't supposed to be posting pictures either, because there was stuff that was not supposed to be shown, and I think there was even like a guy that worked for Bluefin that was like, oh no, why are there Titanus pictures out already? We're not even done setting up the booth yet. Like, I saw that as a reply. And that was what prompted us to go down there and be like, hey, we should be allowed in there too, because if he's posting stuff on his press circuit, then, because it wasn't a personal account. It wasn't his personal account, it was his PR Now account.
That's a news. Yeah,
that's a news thing. So
and my
that's
favorite
why
part
we went
was
down
too,
there.
Soundout.
What was that?
Yeah, like,
My favorite part too.
I complain that Toku Nation doesn't report on news that they should be posting. Like, they didn't cover how Goku was in the Super Robot War game mobile. I complained about, but they at least never do something like that. Like no, like there is rules set for that. Like no, like even if you're a press, like let's say even if you're press, like even if you're like you have like 1 million subscribers or 1 million like followers on Twitter or something like that, you that doesn't make you just get out of jail card. Like it doesn't like make you like you have to follow the rules. So the fact that you guys who are also press for our website couldn't get into the place that he's in, who's also press.
But he was a guest as well. I don't know why he was a guest, to be honest.
Question. Okay, this one
Because he got down on his knees, real nice. He put some mouthwash in, did spit. I'm still being PG because I haven't stated. And he gave, the members of Power Morphicon a special sexualized favor that normally they would have to pay for if they saw him at the street corner.
Okay. This is the biggest question I have. Is Power Rangers Now the same people who does the power that used to be the Neo Saban Power Rangers channel?
No, they were the guys who used to be
people.
Ranger Crew, if I recall.
He was one of the guys on Ranger Crew. Power Rangers Now is a one-person operation.
Okay, I keep thinking, because I don't know what's going on with the Power Rangers Future channel, because that channel used to be Neo Saban Power Rangers, but that's now Power Rangers
Official Power Rangers
now.
Yeah,
So
they pretty much vaulted
Did
into it.
Hasbro like team up with them now?
They're now an official channel, yeah.
Okay, I was so confused for the longest
It's
time.
really
All I
confusing.
know, Soundout.
Okay, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yes.
All I know, Soundout, is still the fact that you were the one who was more heated than me, because I'm like, listen, Soundout, we got our badges, we're able to go in, let's be calm. And you're like, hey, this is not the normal wheels that's usually up everyone's asses and chewing out their throats. I'm like, all right, fine. So then we get in the elevator.
You're not full, right? Yeah, full. Like,
Yeah, but it was just funny though, because I was just trying to be calm about it. Because usually when I'm in war mode,
yeah, you're
stuff usually gets on fire.
Not to insult. This is not an insult, wheelchair, but I would like to call you the loudmouth LU3, but that's not a bad thing. Like you're like the one that always goes like, hey, why are we like
No.
He's the one that's always in fighting mode, and I'm usually calming him down.
Yeah, I'm the one.
So the fact that I was in war mode.
Yeah, no, I'm usually in war dog mode. So when we get into the actual elevator, like like before we get there, I put my headphones on, and Sal's like, "What are you doing?" All of a sudden, he sees me put on, and he sees me put on a wrestling playlist, and he's like, "Oh, I see what he's doing." And Orlando's like, "What is he doing?" And I'm like in there, like getting all psyched up, like it's an actual wrestling match. But the thing is, a lot of the security, like at least the security and the con runners, were a lot nicer to me when I was in a wheelchair. Like they actually talked to me one-on-one, but some of them wouldn't actually like budge until Soundout. So I had to play good cop and Soundout. I had to play role reversal because like. Straight up, like the way the convention worked, it was like kind of against us. And there's one story that I don't even want to talk about. Like there's one story I don't want to talk about.
What question? Like, did you like report this to like Scott from the convention? Like, did you told this?
Oh
to
no,
Scott,
okay, so
oh no, we went up and confronted Scott at one point.
Okay, so here's the basic general thing is like to finish up the Hasbro panel story, was that like Decade was at the door
sorry to interrupt.
Yes.
Sorry to interrupt, but I actually need to head to bed for tomorrow, so...
All right. Bye, Darkon. Enjoy Detective Pikachu.
Yeah. Yeah.
Enjoy Pikachu dancing for 1 hour.
Oh, God. Yeah.
Okay, so anyways, so at the Hasbro panel, like, essentially, what it was that we had gotten stopped at the door by Decade. Because they start letting press in, and then they said, oh, we're out of press seats. And I'm like, what about the other half of the press line? They're like, oh, we only have limited amount of spots. I'm like, why didn't you tell us? When we wouldn't have been standing in this line, we would have gotten in the normal line a lot sooner. And she had no rebuttal to anything I said because it was too logical. But essentially what had happened was like, yeah, it boiled down to you should have enough press seats for your press badges. And then she was saying like, oh, well, I just got put in charge of this room today. And I'm like, okay, well, let us in. You just let us into the row behind the other press row, no problem. And she said, well, I have to go clear that with somebody. And so she left, and the guy that was running the door said, just go in. I'm not gonna argue with you anymore. And so I got in, and I think
the better part was the guy
behind us was like Morphin
nicer.
Legacy and like Ranger Liz and a few other people.
Yeah, so if it wasn't for us arguing with them, they wouldn't even gotten into that panel room.
Yeah, like I ended up sitting next to the Morphin Legacy people.
Morphin Legacy and Ranger Liz also has that problem. I had this share the same problem.
They were behind us in line.
No, they were the guys behind us while we were arguing to get us and them in. We were the ones who were arguing.
Like, those two are like the bigger part of the fandom, so like, yeah.
Why did they just get nicely escorted in while we were still getting argued? Yeah, I know.
Yeah, like that's one thing I noticed.
Basically, I think if we hadn't argued, they wouldn't have gotten in either.
This is one thing
probably.
I noticed. This is something I noticed with this fandom, and I should just like if you guys can agree, but I noticed that since you guys, I hate saying smaller because I've been following you guys, especially following Sound for ever since it started. But since you guys are not like the bigger people in the fandom, like it feels like MomoCon treats like the more smaller people unfairly because like.
Yes, like, absolutely, 100%. That is totally a thing.
Oh, really? Like
we're gonna go off stream before some other there's some other stuff involving with that I don't want to talk publicly.
Oh, you mean the part
you
mean the part where I accidentally took out a table?
Yeah, we're gonna talk about that off stream because that gets into some personal stuff. I accidentally took out a table, but that wasn't deliberately. That was actually accident. But I think someone thought I deliberately did it on purpose.
Yeah, like I really don't want. Yeah, I know I'm like asking these stuff, but I'm not trying. I don't want you guys to be exiled for the fandom.
So, anyways, to wrap up what we're gonna talk about because we're still streaming.
So I'm gonna make the joke. When we came in, we were already exiles.
Yeah.
Like,
anyways, so to
personally,
conclude the public Morphicon talk is that yes, we did get a lot of issues with coordination, communication, and I'm hoping they sort that all out for the next one. But it was very hard. It was very hard as press to do this, but
like if you want, I should make like one of those animated story time videos where I just draw you guys just going through this adventure.
Honestly, like it was pretty wild. I think. Okay, so I'm switching controllers real quick. I'm gonna wrap up the stream. Thanks.
Oh, we're ending it.
We're gonna end the stream. Yeah, I don't really want to put any more.
I was gonna say, can we? Yeah,
we can keep the party open. Just give me 1 second to wrap up the stream real quick, okay? So we can get done. Thanks everyone for joining us. We're wrapping up. Bye. Stop.